Morning, Lee. How are you?
Gee, we'll be all right now. We'll be all right for an old Tuesday. Bank holiday Monday, so it's carrying us along
You're already
rightly.
fixating on that, aren't you?
I
You're
got
for
excited.
The next up. You're trying to get us all excited for the next big thing.
Do you know, you need to grasp these things when they come along, don't you?
Okay. You must feel a bit deflated after the weekend, do you? In fairness now, you did push the boat out in terms of
I think everybody pushed the boat out, and I was watching the live feeds coming over from Donegal town with the two boys in the bed. Do you know what? And we think we're deflated. What about the team and stuff? So hopefully now, after last night, they'll know that we love them so much.
Yeah,
and Daniel came out and stuff and gave them a good lift.
Yeah, it's a great journey.
Do you know? And it was raining there last night, and they're out in umbrellas. So fair play to everybody that turned out. You know.
Yeah, indeed. It's a game of football, isn't it? I know it's
It is.
important, but it's a game of football.
But second best in the country, not bad. Hey.
I don't know.
Don't give me ding dong.
I'm just thinking if you try and say that to Jim McGuinness.
No, I know that's not good enough.
They're
They're in it to win it and stuff, but you know what I mean? From where they've come to where they are now.
What a fantastic year, and we go again, hopefully. I mean,
and sure, they lifted the whole county and everything.
We were there. We were in the last match of the season.
Yeah.
And what's to say, it didn't go our way, but we were there, and it was
we'll be back,
experience.
Daddy. We'll be back. We'll win it, man.
All right, then take care
of yourself. Have a good show, right?
All right, bye-bye. It is 9 o'clock, the 9 till noon show on the way. Let's first get a news update, though, and it's over to Donna Marie Doherty with an update at 9.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. A man convicted of murdering a Donegal soldier in Lebanon has been sentenced to death. 24-year-old Private Rooney died in December of 2022 when a UN convoy he was travelling in came under attack. While the main suspect was given a life term, a number of co-accused received lesser penalties. Irish Times correspondent Conor Gallagher says the conviction and sentencing took people by surprise.
The chief suspect in the death of Private Rooney, Mohammed Ayad, was sentenced to death along with a 100 million Lebanese pound fine, which is about €1,000. Two other defendants were sentenced to short prison sentences, 3 and 1 month respectively, and small fines, while another 3 received just fines, and a 6th defendant was acquitted.
Pharmacies are losing an average of €10,000 a year due to crime. New research from the Irish Pharmacy Union shows nearly 9 in 10 were victims of crime in the past year, and 94% have been hit twice. Fake tan, perfumes and drugs are the items most commonly stolen, while 14% of cases the person carrying out the crime had a gun, knife or syringe. The president of the Irish Pharmacy Union, Donegal-based Tom Murray, says pharmacists want more Gardaí on the beat.
And we would like to see the dedicated retail crime strategy, which has been developed by the government, implemented. There was some work done by Jim O'Callaghan and Alan Dillon. They hosted a forum in May. We'd like to see that published. We'd like to see the recommendations from it implemented, and we'd like to see more Gardaí on the streets, absolutely.
At least 4 people have been killed in a gun attack at a New York skyscraper in which the Irish consulate is located. New York's police commissioner says the gunman had a documented mental health history, and the 27-year-old is among the dead. The building in Park Lane houses the headquarters of the NFL, the investment company BlackRock and the Irish consulate. There's no indication that any of its staff were among those attacked. Ministers will discuss plans to exempt log cabins in back gardens from planning permission today. Modular units of up to 45 square metres will be allowed, with a 4-week public consultation to get underway. It comes as Cabinet also will be told about a push to get local authorities to zone more land for housing. Tom Phillips, Managing Director of Tom Phillips and Associates, says the back garden homes could create more problems than they solve.
It seems crazy. We've got a situation that co-living, which was the later version of student accommodation, is banned, but we're talking about putting modular homes in people's gardens. These are bespoke international form of housing that it works in every other city in the civilized world, and we ban it in Ireland. And yet we're talking about putting sheds in people's back gardens. It's going to be a very, very hard thing to police.
Looking now to weather, rather cloudy and misty start this morning with some occasional drizzle patches here and there. There'll be a few dry spells later in the afternoon with highest temperatures of 17 to 20 degrees in northwesterly breezes. That's all for now from the newsroom. Back with more at 10 o'clock.
Thanks, Donna Marie.
Batch cooking never used to be a thing, but makes so much sense. A little effort up front and you're sorted for the week. Planning your finances? Same deal. What you do now can make your future easier. So visit the AIB Life Hub in your AIB mobile banking app for all the information and ingredients you need on investments, protection and pensions. AIB, for the life you're after. Allied Irish Banks plc is tied to AIB Life for life and pensions business. Allied Irish Banks plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Sale assurance DAC trading as AIB Life is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Allied Irish Banks plc is a 50% holding in Sale assurance DAC.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. You're very welcome along to the 9 till Noon Show. It's just turning 4 minutes past 9 on this Tuesday, the 29th of July. Thanks to Donald for sitting in yesterday and anchoring what turned out to be a really busy show. Of course, we had that, what seems to have been broadly welcomed news from the Health Minister that she wants to see Letterkenny University Hospital to be a place for people to want to come and work and where the best care will be delivered for the people of Donegal. And speaking to those off the record, far better in the know than I would be, they are delighted with this news. They think it's a massive, massive development, and I think it's a testament to all of the people, the campaigners that were down there and met with the Minister when she was up visiting recently, the GPs that come together, the consultants who, you know, it's not easy to speak out in a big organisation like the HSC, but they did, and they did us all proud. That pressure, along with, I think the revelation that a hub for Sligo may or may not have been part of a deal with Mr. Lowry, I suppose it all made it all very interesting, and I was confident the whole time, even though I was criticised for being confident, that it just was an argument, it was a conversation, it was a call that could not be ignored. And I know you talked about it extensively on the show yesterday, but I just wanted to recognise the significance of it, and also to praise Minister Carol McNeill for coming up and engaging with people. She seems to be very natural around people and delivering on a commitment. We'll see. Obviously, we have to keep the feet to the fire, but it seems that, and as I say, it's from people that know much better than I might, it seems that, you know, this is incredibly, incredibly positive news for Letterkenny. Let's go to the newspapers this morning. The Irish Independent. There is enormous confusion in government and the EU about the products which will be covered by the baseline 15% tariff, which activates on Friday following the US trade deal. It's still unclear if pharmaceuticals, which are critical to the Irish economy, will be included in the 15% bracket, or if they could yet be hit with a higher or in a higher bracket. The fate of the other sectors that are important to Ireland is also unclear, with details yet to emerge about alcohol and some dairy products. The EU is insisting that pharma tariffs will be capped at 15% on the basis of a very clear political commitment made by US President Donald Trump during talks with Ursula von der Leyen of the European Commission on Sunday. Now, the Irish government seems pretty certain, those speaking from within its ranks, that we will be capped at 15%, which is, I suppose, where it was going to land, wasn't it? It was never going to be 10. It was unlikely to be 20 or 25, so 15 is where it's at. It feels a wee Brexity, a little bit Brexity to me, because obviously, you know, during Brexit, we took a big hit here compared to some other European countries, and it kind of feels like we could be going down that line again in terms of this deal with the US on tariffs. But we shall see. We shall see. We should know soon enough. On to the Irish Times now, and the sole suspect in the suspected triple murder of a mother and her two teenage children in County Fermanagh has died in hospital, police confirmed. Ian Rutledge, who was 43, was taken to the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast last Wednesday following the fatal shootings at Maguire's Bridge. Vanessa White, 45, originally from County Clare, her son James, 14, and daughter Sarah, 13, died in the same instant at the family home. Mr. Rutledge was married to Ms. White and was the father of her two children. The Police Service of Northern Ireland confirmed he died in hospital yesterday evening. Sources said he was brain dead since the shooting and was in a critical care unit. So, I mean, that's a very, very personal tragedy. And you don't know if the family would be... Well, I'll have to be careful not to speak insensitively, but... moving on to the Irish Daily Mail now, and cocaine use, particularly amongst women, is surging. Apparently, many are using it as a low-fat alternative to alcohol, one of Ireland's leading rehab centres has said. The Rutland Centre Rehab Clinic yesterday published its 2024 annual report warning of a growing national crisis as cocaine replaces other drugs. The centre's head of clinical services, Emma Canavan, described how children are snorting cocaine in their school lockers and said there's even an app being used to have it delivered by drones in Ireland, believe it or not. She also told the Irish Daily Mail at the report's launch, young women feel like cocaine is not going to derail their weight loss journeys or the progress in the gym. If they were to use alcohol, it would negatively affect those things. So cocaine is nearly kind of a loophole to get a buzz without having to ingest additional calories. So apparently a spike in women taking cocaine, whether that's the motivations or not, statistically it is shown to be that more women are taking cocaine. The Irish Daily Star this morning is amongst all the papers that report that a man has been sentenced to death for the murder of Private Sean Rooney in Lebanon. The military court sentenced Mohammed Ayad to the death penalty and a massive fine for his role in the Irish peacekeepers killing. The sentence is valid for 25 years, but nobody has been executed in the country for around 20 years. It can also be revealed that Ayad was not in court to learn his fate. The killer is understood to be in hospital and will have to present himself to the authorities once he's discharged. Sources also indicate his sentence will likely be commuted, which probably means commuted to a life sentence rather than death. In addition, Ali Saliman and Ali Khalifa were jailed and fined for 3 months and 1 month respectively. Others were also fined and not jailed, while one, Mohammed Mazar, was released because of insufficient evidence. So the family have yet to speak formally. We will reach out to them, of course, when it's appropriate for them to do so, or perhaps their legal representation, just to get a reaction to that for you, as I say, when the time is right, by their reckoning, not ours. The Irish Daily Mirror this morning, and Donald Trump has vowed to press Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to allow more aid into Gaza, saying, "You've got to feed the kids." I wonder, why is it now that the penny has dropped? I don't know. It just seems that all of a sudden, since images started going on the front pages or the top of website stories, that all of a sudden things have changed in terms of political leaders almost embarrassed into having to say something against this. Why did it take so long, I suppose, for the headlines, the front of pages, to be that of starving children, to try and drive this message home? I'm not saying it's the press's fault and it's the politicians ultimately, but it seems to me, unless like I've missed something, it seems to be the arrival of these images in the press has sort of now all of a sudden triggered more of a political reaction to what's going on. Well, Trump made his comments as the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer is expected to summon ministers for an emergency cabinet meeting this week to discuss a UK-led plan for peace in Gaza. Starmer yesterday travelled with his wife Victoria to the US presidential Turnberry Golf Resort in Scotland, where the situation in the Middle East was high on the agenda for talks. And let's finally go to the Irish Sun this morning. Zapping the brain, and I wouldn't advise you do this, but anyway, zapping the brain could improve fitness without people having to lift a finger. Research suggests electrical stimulation for just 30 minutes a day for a week was found to boost heart and lung performance in tests. In the trial on 28 people, a device on the ear was used to stimulate the vagus nerve. It helps to control bodily processes such as the heartbeat, breathing and digestion. I don't know, as I say, I wouldn't suggest it, but there you go. 086 60 25,000, that's the WhatsApp and text number, 086 60 25,000. If you wish to give us a call, of course, it's 074 91 25,000, and you can email as well, comments@highlandradio.com.
Daily newspapers are courtesy of Cosgrove, Centra and Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
It's the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars. Driving value with Suzuki's incredible 10-year warranty and 0% finance. Visit Barry Brown Cars in Milford or Donegal Town today. Your journey to 10 years of worry-free motoring starts here.
Do you suffer from high cholesterol, menopause symptoms, digestive issues, anxiety, aches and pains, or a lack of energy? The highly trained team at the Natural Way Letterkenny can provide advice on natural remedies for a number of individual health issues. The Natural Way also has its own brand of herbal treatments to help fight fatigue, relieve digestive discomfort, maintain a healthy immune system and alleviate common menopause symptoms. The Natural Way at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, your one-stop health shop.
Stack more into your barbecue for less with Lidl. Mix and match across fish, board B approved meats or poultry, 3 for €9 with Lidl Plus. Choose juicy Irish beef burgers, there's no topping their flavour. Serve deliciously smoky fish and fresh from the grill, Irish pork or chicken. Save even more when you go full Lidl this summer.
Oakfest 2025 returns to Oakfield Park this September 6th and 7th. 2 days, 2 stages, 1 unforgettable weekend. Enjoy live music, incredible food and drink, and glamping under the stars, all in one of Ireland's most spectacular settings. Saturday, live and original, featuring Wet Wet Wet, Boney M, Racy, and the Whistling Donkeys. Sunday, Legends Reimagined, with tribute performances to the Eagles, Blondie, Springsteen, and more. Tickets are going fast. Get yours now at oakfieldpark.com.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
The time now, 14 minutes past 9. A caller says, interesting that the government was in so much fear of the Lowry deal being made public, they gave Donegal what it wanted. A lot of serious questions need answering here. Well, that's one take on it, I suppose. In relation to the tariffs deal, Germany's not happy with the deal either, Greg. OK, thank you. We aren't getting solely shafted this time. Mertz was out whining about it this morning, even though him and Maloney were the ones pushing for a quick deal. OK, let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Martin. Hi, Martin.
Good morning, Lee. How are you?
I'm doing good. Right, we're talking about a speed van, its location, and I suppose the space it's taking up in and around Lifford. Talk to me about it.
I was going to Mass on Saturday evening. I always go early to sort of get the same space every week. It's just me. And I pulled down about 6 o'clock. Mass is not to 6:30. I pulled down about 6 o'clock. And there was a few cars there, all right. But the Go Safe van was sitting on actually 3 spaces, taken up. That maybe, as I said to the man when I was talking to him, do you realise you're taking up 3 spaces here, and this is Mass time? That maybe elderly people, they're not badge holders, but they use these spaces every week. And he told me that he was told to sit there, and I says, who told you to sit there? He says, the guards. So I says, well, the guards know that there's Mass on every Saturday evening, nearly every chapel in the country at around 6, 6:30. But when I went into Mass, somebody came in and said, he's away, he's gone.
Is there not a positive to this? I know, Martin, your issue maybe is taking up the parking spaces, but I mean, people could be crying for a Go Safe van outside the church saying, look, we're trying to go to Mass, cars are speeding past us, this is where one of these vans need to be. What I'm trying to say is Go Safe, damned if they do and damned if they don't.
I understand that, and I respect the work that the Go Safe vans are doing, but not at Mass time. Taking up 3 spaces, 3 spaces near hand the gate. Surely, if it was further away from the gate, okay, but near hand the gate, where I know that the same people use every week.
Okay, well, sure. Look, we'll see what the rest of the public think, Martin. You contacted Go Safe yourself, anyway. You're that unhappy about this situation.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
like I know everybody has a boss, but he told me he was told to sit there, and I said, I don't think it's right to be told to sit there at Mass time. It was there yesterday evening too. I respect that. It was there yesterday evening.
But maybe he's keeping Mass goers safe, though. People crossing the road, young kids or older people, perhaps. Maybe the presence of that Go Safe van is making going. I'm sure the car park's not wedged. I'm sure there's plenty of spaces.
No, at the front of the chapel. I'm talking about, he's not on the car park, he's on the space in front of the chapel.
Right. Okay. All right, then listen, Martin, thank you for that. What do you think out there? If you're familiar with that situation, maybe you've got something to say about it. 086 60 25,000. Catching on some of the comments coming in from yesterday as it relates to the game. I'll just run through these for you. Very disappointed in the amount of Donegal supporters leaving Croke Park yesterday with 10 to 15 minutes to go. Everyone looking for tickets for the final, and then to turn their back and walk out on them when they were getting well beat. Let's hope we make it to the final next year again and these so-called supporters don't get tickets. By email here, a 10-point gap is a hiding in an All-Ireland final. Nobody's saying it. That comes in from Declan and Milford, obviously replying to something. Another caller says Donegal sat off too much. If you give Kerry that much time and space, they destroy you. That's what happened. Another, I'm told there's a big demand for humble pie this morning. All right, okay, let's be nice. Ray Donegal versus Kerry. Did Donegal display disrespect and arrogance by walking out on the pre-match parade early yesterday and leaving the Artane band on the pitch on their own? I'm not sure. I mean, they did break away to get down to the furthest part of the pitch. Is that disrespectful? I don't know. I did notice it. I'm not sure if it would be classed as disrespectful or not. But at the end of the day, look, it's what happened afterwards that people are talking about, isn't it? In relation to that news about the hub for Donegal, well done to Highland Radio on being the voice of Donegal on health, defective concrete and many other issues. On behalf of elders in Donegal, I'd like to thank the Minister for Health for her decision on the surgical hub. More than happy to pass that on. Myself and my husband are 79 and 80 and we both have to travel to Sligo every month for an eye injection. It's an exhausting journey for both of us. With this new hub, now, will this save us the trip? Well, I can't say anything that's going to be giving you false hope or dashing hopes either. I simply don't know. Hopefully that is one of the services. I chat to so many people just randomly bumping into people and be chatting, and it comes up that they have to go to Sligo for an eye injection, and it's often older people, obviously, because of the condition that's affecting them, and it's crazy. I really wish that was one thing that would change. Delighted this healthcare facility has been approved. Well done to consultant Dr. Anya Keating, ED, for her tireless work on this, and to all the doctors and politicians across the board, and Greg, who supported this 100%. Another, well done to all the doctors and consultants for standing shoulder to shoulder over the surgical hub. Also, Highland Radio for their relentless highlighting of this through arranged interviews with the Health Minister, doctors, consultants, ministers, etc. Another one here. Now we need our community hospitals saved before it's too late. COVID saved them temporarily, but with services decimated at community hospitals like St. Joseph's, like where physio, day hospital and so many services in the past, will the long stay and respite units go to the new hospital in Letterkenny, meaning that people from Glenfin, Meanria, Ballabufey having to take that mad traffic journey to Letterkenny to see their loved ones. Now save our community hospitals. They are the best potential step-down services for Letterkenny University Hospital anyway. Donegal, please stick together to save our community hospitals. Okay, well, sure. We'll see. The dust is just settling on the battle over the surgical hub. Liam Hegarty joins us on the programme now, and we talk about big issues. August 2017, devastating floods. We went down to Inishowen, I think, on the day or the day after. Such was the extent of what went on, and you would think at this point it would be resolved. August 2017, what are we heading into now? August 2025. Liam Hegarty joins me. Hi, Liam.
Hi, morning, Greg. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Now, it was in the month of 2017, the month of 2017, a number of houses in Burnfoot badly flooded, and it's a combination of public, private homes, isn't it? Well, social sort of and private homes. What's your interest in this?
That's what I am. I'm a resident of Lost Greenia. We're in the private houses down in Burnfoot, Greg, and then behind us then you have the council houses where for Calhoun, you were talking to Calhoun, her and her neighbours, they're still out of their houses. They still never got back into their houses. And we had a meeting with last November, and they told us it could be another 7 years before the flood defences go up.
Given the fact that these houses are clearly vulnerable to flooding and that at least some of them have defective concrete, why are we rebuilding or even looking at rebuilding them in that space? Should we not be finding an alternative site, get an agreement with homeowners and the council and relocating these properties?
That's correct, Craig. That would be the best outcome out of the whole lot, yeah. they're expecting us to rebuild on our floodplain, and we can't rebuild, because if we rebuild again, we're going to flood again, Greg. We can't do nothing until these flood defences up. Scale back the flood defences, buy us out, let us get on the rest of their lives. Like, it's turned into an absolute joke now at this stage. Like,
but I mean, there surely is an argument that if these houses are moved, there's no need to spend that money on flood defences, or might it have to be done anyway?
They'll have to do some kind of flood defences. Yep, New Bride scaled back where our houses were located. They could use that as a floodplain, as a barrier, and they could scale back, and then the village of Burnfoot itself then would be protected, and then the other remaining houses would be protected. Yeah, but it's the most feasible thing to relocate us, buy us out.
Well, look, the councillor aware of this. I asked this question directly of the Minister for Housing as well. I think he actually travelled to Burnfoot during his last visit here, or one of his most recent visits here. So he's aware of it. Do you believe that this is sort of a Minister for Housing responsibility, or are you waiting on the council or what?
The Minister of Housing and the Minister OPW, Boxer Moran. Boxer Moran come that day after that devastating night. He stood in my kitchen up to his ankles and muck, and he says, Liam, look, I will get this sorted. I will get you the money for this. I said, thank you, Boxer. And we're credit's due. He landed back mine the following June. They left for Craig by 9 announced the funding.
Yep.
And it was moved on then, sure, relaxed, pushed on. So we've requested a meeting with the Minister at the start of the year, Minister Boxer Moran, and hopefully it will come and meet us to try and get this sorted out once and for all, because we're getting nowhere. We've done a Galway County Council at the minute. Like, the latest website was updated there last week, and the planning now is not being submitted now to autumn time. And they keep told us November will be submitted in January. They're just kicking the can down the road, and all they are actually doing is wasting taxpayers' money, because there's no contractor ever going to get insurance to work beside defective concrete homes, and that is just the plain and simple of it. And they're just kicking it down the road. Like.
And I think really an awful lot is being asked of council staff by government as well, and there is only a certain amount of work a certain amount of people can do either. I wonder if they need more resources to deal with the likes of this issue, flood relief schemes in general.
Yes, they do, Greg. We were told at the last meeting last November, there's one person in charge of 11 flood schemes on Donegal. One person. I think they drafted on another person, but one person. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to work, Greg.
So just to be clear, as it relates as a resident of this area, are you saying, right, get your finger out, get the planning in, get the flood scheme sorted, get us, as safe as possible? Or are you saying, right, scrap that, let's find an alternative site, build houses elsewhere? What if you had a meeting with the minister, whichever minister you feel is the most appropriately qualified to answer the question, what are you pushing for, clearly?
It's relocation. It has to be at this stage. Like, I'm in my house, me and the wife, children, in house 20 years. This is our family home. We don't want to leave. We don't want to leave there. My kids are settled there. Everybody's settled there. But the flood scheme's not going to materialise. So just buy us out. Let us go. Move somewhere else. Relocate us now at this stage. Like, we've been more impatient. We've done everything they've asked of us, and still no finish. Like, the scheme, when they announced at the start that flood roof scheme was supposed to be operational June this year, and I say they're not even at the planning stage yet, and a planning is going to take at least 18 months.
Okay, Liam, you've been heard. Thank you for that. We'll see what the council have to say in relation to that as well. Obviously, we'll make our inquiries. If you have a view on that, 086 60 25,000. Just wanted to say, says a listener, I'll come back to that. There's a word missing. It's about what went on in the Brandywell, and I don't think they're going to go back, but I'll read it off air and then read it out. Why doesn't the government put a levy on things like furniture and bedding, which would require a supplier of new items to collect the old items for recycling? It works very well with electrical items, and it would prevent the illegal dumping of mattresses and other bulky material in our woods and rivers. It costs a lot of money to bring a bulky item to a recycling centre, and people, for various reasons, including the ability to pay, take stuff to the forest or the river, where the cost of removal is more than the charge for disposing of the items legally. It's a toughie, because I do know there are these days whereby the cost of recycling a mattress or something is either free or greatly reduced at some of the civic community sites. It's very, very expensive to dispose of a mattress. And I don't think people would want to be paying for that in advance, especially when some mattresses you get a 20-year guarantee with them or what have you. Like, I get where you're coming from. I just don't think the public would be prepared to front load the payment on something like that. But anyway, let's see what others think. 086 60 25,000.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
You're tuned to the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars, where your new 252 Suzuki comes with 0% finance and a 10-year warranty. Visit Barry Brown Cars in Milford or Donegal Town for 10 years of peace of mind motoring.
Claire usually hates being the vegetarian at the barbecue, but not today. Because she's been to Aldi and picked up some delicious West Cork Irish buffalo mozzarella, which she thinks looks quite pretty beside the plum tomatoes and fresh basil. So she's taking a satisfied sip of her tasty, specially selected fresh lemonade. Rain may be forecast, but her plate is a little ray of sunshine. It's enough to turn a meat eater's head. Good food, good mood. From Aldi.
And now, a look at the forecast. We're seeing lots of wind, plenty of sunshine to come, and a long-term outlook that's bright for Ireland.
At EirGrid, our forecast is for a sustainable energy future. We're upgrading the electricity grid so every home, business and community can benefit. We're powering up Ireland. Learn more at airgrid.ie.
Luxury living begins at the heart of your home, your fireplace. At Sprat Fireplaces, Newmills Letterkenny, we offer statement fireplaces, bespoke surrounds, and a wide range of stoves, including gas, wood burning, pellet, and bioethanol models. No chimney? No problem. We'll help you choose and install the perfect solution. Stylish, efficient, and tailored to your home. Call 074 91 24144 or visit spratfireplaces.ie. Sprat Fireplaces, bringing comfort and style home.
75 years ago, SEAT set out on a journey to create cars that move people in every sense. From the iconic Ibiza and Leon to the family-friendly Arona and Ateca SUVs, designed with style and practicality for those who expect more. Now to celebrate, you can avail of exclusive offers across the SEAT range at our 252 sales event this June. Find out more at your local SEAT retailer or visit seat.ie. SEAT. Expect more.
Your local SEAT dealer is DMG Motors, Clara Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721 396.
Okay, we are joined on the programme now by Shauna Taylor, Project Coordinator at the Full Death Association. Good morning, Shauna.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Great, lovely to have you on the programme. Now, a group of newly qualified tour guides are hoping they can help make visiting Northern Ireland more accessible to the deaf community. So talk to me how this is progressing, because a number of people have graduated, haven't they, to assist in this regard?
So earlier on in the year, I was approached by the Northwest Regional College, and I was approached by a member of the team at the School of Business and Financial Services, Luann. And I was asked if there would be any interest in the deaf community taking part and completing the tour guide level 2. I have worked with Luann in the past, supporting other young deaf adults, and I have to say, as an individual and as a professional, she's fantastic to work with, and I was very, very excited about the proposition. It was funded by Tourism NI. I put the proposal to the Full Deaf Association, the deaf community, and they were excited about it. So, as you say, we now have, I think, 6 in total who have completed their tour guide level 2, and very excited about it. Absolutely, chomping at the bit now to get started, and very much about supporting the deaf community and the likes of the tourist industry in Northern Ireland. So I have to say it has been a beautiful process. It's been lovely, and it's lovely to see the deaf community at the end actually graduate with their certificates as well.
Yeah, because you're the only hearing person amongst the 6 recently qualified.
Yes, and I'd said to someone when I was chatting to them this week, there was a method to me doing the course. Greg, I am a CODA, so therefore, and a CODA is a child of a deaf adult. So I am blessed in that my mother is profoundly deaf, my father is hearing. So I have grown up all my life with a deaf parent. And whilst I'm not deaf, I do believe that I have an understanding and an empathy of a deaf person and the deaf community. Now, as I've also said, the majority of the deaf community use sign language as their main method of communication. And people automatically, I think, assume that because someone's deaf, that the only thing that they've lost, Greg, is their hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot more than that. I mean, they've lost their language and their language skill, a lot of them. So in learning sign language, they're learning another skill. And it's very easy for us to say, oh, well, they've learned British Sign Language or they've learned Irish Sign Language. But sign language is very much like a foreign language. And if you're speaking to a foreign speaker, I mean, they don't speak in the same structure, grammar, or syntax that we do. So therefore, I felt that maybe it would be a good idea, having worked in the Northwest Regional College in the past supporting young deaf adults, maybe if I did the course with the deaf community, I could support them in the terminology and the structure going through the course. And it's not that they're any less intelligent, but sometimes things just have to be made very plain and very simple. And I think the English language can be, I mean, we can use 1,000 words to say one thing, and we just have to simplify things. And that was the reason why I did the course with them. So in going through the course and me completing it, I was able to sit with them and go, right, the tutor has asked you to do this. This is what we need to do, and just make things very simple.
Do we know yet how their skills now will be employed? Is this like sort of maybe having, one of the guides, going with the regular tour, if you know what I mean, and it just makes it more accessible, or tours only for the deaf community, or how do you see it going forward?
I think what we're looking at, and I mean, we've taken our guidance and we will continue to take our guidance from Luann, who did the course for us. I mean, Luann's has done this for many, many years, and we're waiting on the official certification coming through now. And then we do have the legalities to have a look at as a charity, as a deaf organisation. So there is the things like public liability insurance and one thing and another. That will be sorted out. And then we will then be registered with the tourist board in the Northern Ireland Tourist Board, and also the tourist board within Derry itself. So if the opportunity arises and they get in contact with us and say, we have we have a number of deaf individuals that are coming to Derry that would love to do a tour. Can you provide a deaf tour guide? Then we most certainly will do everything we can in order to provide that for the individuals.
Yeah, and of course, finally, I think it was your mother's quoted as saying that the deaf community can feel excluded at times. And I suppose unless you are that person or close to them, you don't really spot it.
You don't, and I mean, and that is very indicative of all disabilities. Unless it becomes your lived and learned experiences, Greg, you don't, and you wouldn't feel it. As I say, I'm a CODA, and I would say that I would have great empathy for the deaf community and for anybody with a hearing loss. But at the end of the day, I am not deaf. What I will also say is, from doing the course with the deaf community, I mean, they have such a story to tell. It is absolutely phenomenal. We, in doing the course within the Northwest and within the Derry area, we had Patricia, and Patricia spoke about, events like Bloody Sunday. Patricia would have been young at the time, would have experienced it. She would have, in the 80s when things was, quite turbulent in the north, Patricia was very aware and lived those experiences. And we haven't heard those experiences from the likes of the deaf community and other communities that have lived through it. So it's fantastic that they're now being given the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, listen, thanks very much indeed for joining us, Shauna. It's been lovely chatting to you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you for your time.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. That's Shauna Taylor, Project Coordinator at the Foyle Deaf Association. Anything we can do to make life more inclusive, I think, the better. Just wanted to say it's my last time in the Brandywell, was 20 years ago, and I still never set my feet in it again. The abuse the Finn Harp supporters got that night was not terrible, very foul language, and name calling. Not a very nice atmosphere to be in. Even the ball boys not giving the ball back to our goalkeeper, hiding it or kicking it past him or dropping it short, that he would have to go and get it. Okay, so that's off the back of more aggro that was up there, but they say their last visit to the Randywell was 20 years ago and they're not setting foot in it again. A caller says, if it wasn't for Marion Harkin speaking up about the Lowry deal, would Donegal have got the hub? My view is no. Or at least it could have been much more difficult. I think that when it was revealed that it was part of the deal, and then when Mr. Healy-Rae doubled down on that in the second part of the conversation, the story got a little bit bigger than just us wanting a hub. It sort of could have potentially dragged that deal into question. Plus, not to forget, the health minister's, I believe, genuine interest in actually delivering for Donegal as well. I think that definitely was a factor, and I think she deserves credit in relation to that. But no, I think when it emerged that Sligo was always going to be Sligo, I think that worked very much in our favour. Greg, another post office in rural Donegal is closing. Ballydar in Fermanagh is closing soon. Where does this leave an elderly rural community, Greg? Could you make this your next campaign? Well, we've worked on it, and we heard Councillor Declan Meehan talking on this issue as well, and I'm not sure if it came through yesterday or if it's yet to come through, but they are going to put it out to tender again. It's not going to be where it was. It's a terrible thing, I think, losing something that's been there for hundreds of years in one form or other. But anyway, a caller says the speed van is there for a purpose in Lifford, to save lives, not to take up a space. Another, don't understand why this man is complaining about the speed van being parked at the chapel. I've lived there all my life and the speed on this road is ridiculous, and even overtaking on this narrow road. That's kind of where my gut feeling was, to be honest with you. You can blame Lee Gooch for going down to Kerry and putting flags up. Fairly came back to bite him in the bum. Yes, I don't think so. That was all just a bit of banter, and Kerry were at the same crack. He always looking for angles. Well, Donegal and especially Highland Radio underestimated Kerry. My flag still flying high in Rathmullen. That comes in from Tricia. Tricia, we just got behind the team. And when you get to a final, you can dare to dream. You know, this whole conversation of, you can't, sometimes you just have to say, right, we've got here, we can do this, and this is how we'll do it, and so on and so forth. Congratulations to the Donegal team, second best team in Ireland. Personally, I think this is a brilliant result for Jim and his team, made for such a great summer. It did indeed, and it's just when you get so close, though, you just want to go one step beyond, don't you? Right, Sandra is with me now, and we're going to talk Ryanair baggage charges. Hi, Sandra.
Hiya, Greg. How are you?
I'm all right. Okay, so what was your recent experience with Ryanair, Sandra?
Well, it wasn't actually recently, Greg.
Okay.
It was actually, I'll tell you, it was actually before COVID, about, I think it's 5 or 6 years since COVID hit.
Yeah.
And myself and my friend Rose, we were going over to Blackpool. Well, we were flying into Manchester from Dublin Airport here, down here in the south.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually, the bag size I had was the right size with Ryanair, where we weren't charged going out. But when we were coming back, we had to get out quick because I think Ireland was going on lockdown the Monday after the weekend. We were away over at a country music weekend.
Yeah.
And we were flying out of Manchester Airport, and we got charged for our bags, £100 sterling, £50 sterling each, because we were told our bag was the wrong size for going under the seat on the Ryanair flight. But we got out of Dublin, we weren't charged going out of Dublin. So we were charged coming back. So we were lucky we had money with us, extra money with us, or we'd have been in trouble.
Yeah,
with
but
Ryanair company.
They're they've got these baggage sizers left, right, and centre, and everywhere. And did you think you had the right bag going out, or did you say, right, listen, we'll chance it?
Well, this is a bag I always use any time I'm flying, anywhere, if I'm going on a sun holiday or all. And I've never had any fee is to pay for the wrong size bag, Greg. And it's just, I don't know what it was now, and we didn't buy anything that made the bag look
Heavier,
bigger or overweight, you know. But I did email Ryanair when a day or two after and asked, like, why were we not charged going out, a fee going out as well as a fee coming back? And I got no reply from anybody in Ryanair in the offices in Dublin at all.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the bag I always use going everywhere.
Yeah, it's a funny one because it does seem to be that it's down to the staff in particular airports as well, whether or not you get away with it. Some of them are all over it, others aren't. And now, obviously, since it's a long time ago since you were hit, Sandra, but we know now that the baggage staff are being incentivised maybe to try and make them all much tougher on the likes of yourself.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah.
They're being told to have to, because I was listening, I think, to an interview, I don't know if it was on the news or on the radio news here, down here on RTE, and I think it was Michael O'Leary himself had said that they have been told to actually keep an eye out for it and put the fee down on them as well.
Yeah, he says that they might even double how much they get per bag they find. All right, Sandra, listen, thanks for sharing your story with us.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
Take care. That's Sandra O'Shaughnessy there talking about Ryanair baggage charges.
Sick of surprise car bills? You're tuned to the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars, Milford and Donegal Town, your main Suzuki dealer in Donegal. Grab your 252 Suzuki now with 0% finance and a rock-solid 10-year warranty.
The Adrenaline Stunt Circus comes to Letterkenny Kiltoy Roundabout on the 2nd and 3rd of August at 2 p.m. featuring our Ride Pro FMX team, 3 monster trucks, War Machine, the Sheriff and Uncle Sam, and lots more. Visit Daredevil Entertainment Presents Adrenaline on Facebook and get tickets on eventbrite.com. Don't miss out.
Love Kia as much as we do? Then you need to visit iMotors. Choose petrol, diesel, hybrid, or go electric with the award-winning EV3, World Car of the Year, and of course our celebrity, the Kia Sportage, Donegal's best-selling car. From everyday drives to bold adventures, there's a Kia for every journey. Visit imotors.ie today.
iMotors, fearless generation.
At Bank of Ireland, we believe experience deserves respect. That's why we've created a unique advisory service just for our senior customers. Our dedicated senior advisory service provides personal, one-on-one guidance to help you stay in control of your savings. Available in person in any one of our 169 branches, online or over the phone, we're here to explain your options, not to decide for you. Whether you want flexibility, security, or both, you decide where and how to save. We simply provide the support and expertise to help you do it with confidence. You've worked hard your whole life. Now let us work with you to provide the care and clarity that ensures your money does what you want it to.
Bank of Ireland's Senior Advisory Service, because financial freedom should grow with you. Bank of Ireland, trading as Bank of Ireland Insurance and Investments, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Find amazing savings across our departments with up to 50% off your favourite brands in our summer sale. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Now, the weather forecast for today, a rather cloudy and misty start this morning with some occasional drizzle patches here and there. There'll be occasional dry spells later in the afternoon. Highest temperatures of 17 to 20 degrees in northwesterly breezes. Tonight, a mainly cloudy evening, but dry overall apart from a few mist or drizzle patches. Northwesterly breezes and lowest overnight temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees. I might let you know what's happening tomorrow whilst I have it open here in front of me. Staying cloudy overall, but mostly dry. A few light showers will drift in along western counties during the morning and afternoon. However, highest temperatures of 18 to 20 degrees. And light westerly breezes. Now, coming up after 10 o'clock, we've got Community Garda Information, where we bring you the very latest appeals and information from An Garda Síochána first here on the 9 till noon show each Tuesday. And then coming up after 11, we meet the Marys. The Mary from Dungloe International Festival is up and running now. And as part of that, of course, they do select their Mary annually. And there's 15 taking part in the event this year, and we'll have a chat to all of them during the course of the 11 to 12 hour here on the 9 till noon show. So maybe you're listening from some far-flung location backing your local Mary. Hopefully you'll get to hear what they have to say on the show a little later on. So stay tuned for that. And of course, like everything on this programme, you can watch it. If you want to go onto our website, click the Watch Live button or go to YouTube, the YouTube app. You can watch on your smart TV or your Fire Stick. Just type in Highland Radio Ireland and we are there. Right, now, some more of your comments coming in so far this morning. Watching the homecoming last night, it just looked like all the players wanted to do was to go home. Kerry were 9 points ahead after 15 minutes. They controlled the game. Donegal were great all year, but the players just wanted to get home to their families. And of course, you know, we saw other teams recently cancel homecomings. I think the how wide the result was, there's a lot of things factor into that, and sort of when you know a game is out of your hands any longer, it's very hard perhaps to keep the same level of intensity. When you can look at the clock, you know there's not going to be a flag of 6 or 7 extra minutes to play. You know the Hooter's going to go at 70. So, but history records the final score, don't they? Or doesn't it? So. Back more, and I'll be honest with you, I fully respect our earlier caller who has his concerns about this Go Safe fan outside Letterkenny, outside Lifford Chapel, but the majority of people I think seem to be thinking it's not the worst thing ever. The Go Plus speed check can't be parked on private property. I was caught out myself, says a listener there. Greg, good to see a judge come down heavy on people in court yesterday in Donegal for parking in disabled parking zones. Hopefully this will teach people a lesson. Yeah, we are seeing more and more people seemingly being, caught or fined for parking in disabled spaces, but it's not necessarily leading to a reduction in the amount of people that are being found to have done it, if that makes sense. A caller says, I have a comment about the prevention of cruelty to animals. I am in a show and I reported an incident 2 years ago. There is a dog in a 40-metre container and the dog gets out 30 minutes a day. He gets no daylight, food or water. The ISPCA didn't even know where this part of Inishowen was when I mentioned it to him. The poor dog is crying all of the time. What do you do in that situation? Is that animal cruelty? It would make you wonder why they didn't come down really quite heavy on that. We've covered this on the show before, and I thought I'd bring this article to you because it's kind of an update on it. And it's often when we think of Garda response times, we think of where they're located, what station they're in, where the local district headquarters is. And often it's down to 1 in 3 of them not trained to drive at high speeds or to use lights or sirens, that they are driving around in a vehicle equipped for all that, but they have to drive around as sort of normal citizens, supposed to, you could say. So a third of Garda drivers are not trained to drive at speed or to use lights or sirens. That's according to the paper. There are now calls to change the entire driving training system to a new model which will see more members of the force being able to respond to calls without fear of discipline. There have been several instances in recent years in which members of the force have faced legal or disciplinary difficulties for chasing alleged criminals. In total, there are just 4,700 members of the force who are trained to the level where they can use lights and sirens while also breaking the speed limit to respond to calls. The rest of the Garda members, 8,913 of them, have only completed the very basic driving assessment, which allows them to drive patrol cars and to be able to drive at higher speeds and to use equipment such as lights or sirens. Gardaí are required to pass a certain level of training called Competency Behaviour Driving 2. CBD2 is a 2-week course aimed at frontline Garda drivers. This course contains road techniques and emergency response driving. And as I say, we were talking about this a couple of years ago with the head of the GRA as he was then. And it was like, they want to get the training. All right, we'll be back with more on the 9 till noon show as we head towards the news at 10 after this short break.
Want stress-free motoring for the next 10 years? Today's show is brought to you by Barry Brown Cars, your main Suzuki dealer in Donegal with locations in Milford and Donegal Town, offering 0% finance and a comprehensive 10-year warranty on your new Suzuki.
Picture your dream wedding at the foot of Errigal Mountain. Join us at the Encourage Hotel Summer Wedding Showcase, Monday 4th of August, 1 to 5 p.m. at Encourage Hotel Gweedore. Explore our elegant ballroom, picturesque gardens and breathtaking views. Enjoy light refreshments and start imagining your unforgettable day. No appointment needed. Visit encouragehotel.com for more details.
The Highland Radio Outside broadcast team is hitting the road again. Join us live this Wednesday from 2:30 for Jive Time with David James, and again on Friday morning for Greg Hughes and the 9 till noon show. Both shows broadcasting live from the heart of the Mary from Dungloe International Arts Festival. We'll be soaking up the atmosphere and celebrating a jam-packed programme of music, culture and community fun. Check out the full festival lineup at maryfromdunloe.ie. Proudly brought to you in association with Cavanagh SuperValue Dungloe.
Discover exceptional value during the big summer sale now on at Donegal Town Hardware. Enjoy huge savings on garden furniture, paint, power tools, barbecues, fencing and so much more. With free parking and free delivery, there's never been a better time to shop local and save big. But don't wait, the big summer sale ends Saturday, August 2nd at Donegal Town Hardware.
Looking at the Kia Sportage? Call to Heron Auto Donegal, where for just €1,500 more than the diesel model, you can upgrade to a hybrid automatic with a bigger boot, spare wheel option and finance from just 3.9%. Drive smarter, drive further and drive with confidence with Heron Auto Donegal Town, your trusted Kia main dealer. Book your test drive today at Heron Auto or visit heronauto.ie.
All right, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. Just to remind you, coming up after 10 o'clock, we've got the very latest edition of Community Garda Information, where we'll bring you the very latest appeals and information to you. That's just after the 10 o'clock news. And then after 11, we'll be chatting to the participants seeking to be crowned the Mary from Dungloe 2025. All of them are calling in, which is all very exciting. So we'll interview them in threes and learn a little bit more about them and why they chose to enter the competition and what they hope to achieve in it. So that's good, isn't it? Good morning to Audrey Nealis watching on Facebook. Dolores Dunleavy, obviously always watching with us. Good morning, Greg and all the Highland team. And Magadula. Morning, Greg and listeners. Where is Highland Radio? I want to visit sometime. We're broadcasting from the northwest of Ireland here in County Donegal. And you can watch the show, of course, on Facebook, on X and on YouTube. Let's say good morning to Kiva here. Kiva, how are you?
Not too bad, Greg. How are you?
I'm okay. So we had the initial caller complaining about the speed van parking outside a chapel in Lifford. Other people seem to not think it's that bad an idea, but where do you sit on all of this?
Yeah, I actually agree with it, but sometimes what happens there is that there's a wall between so there's like a car park, the car parking spaces, and then like as you're coming down from, if you pull off that slipway, there is like a wall going up to the graveyard, like a really high wall, and sometimes he's not always visible. He's always like kind of like parked up near that wall, which is not, as far as I'm aware, that they're supposed to be visible at all times.
Yeah, if that is the case, Kiva, that takes the deterrent factor out of it, doesn't it? Because the whole idea would be that people would see the van and slow down, thus making it safer for everyone on the road.
Yeah, and I understand that he has to be there, and you know what? There's a lot of speeding going on that part of the road, which I totally agree with. So if they do, but he should not be parked at mass time at 3 spaces. Definitely not. I totally agree with the person. I'm not saying that, you know, he shouldn't be there. Of course he should be there, you know, for everybody's own safety.
But you say, as I say, and I've said, there's no point repeating it. They need to be seen. That's the whole function of it, and that's what you'd expect, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
There's loads of times that I've come around that corner, and obviously I don't be speeding that part of the road, but he's not always visible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, Key, for these speed vans. Some people would love them in their areas and others want them chased out of the area. You know, it's like everyone has their own opinions on all of this.
Yeah.
All right, listen, thank you for your comments. I do appreciate it, and I think really it's going to only have its the road safety benefit if you can actually see it. A caller says, I have a bank account for years. Yesterday, I tried to add my wife's name to the account, only to be told I have to close my account and open a new account in both our names. This is very inconvenient, as I've had a number of bills coming out of it. I think it's a very poor treatment of the bank on a lifetime customer. Well, that is a bit strange, isn't it? You would imagine that it would be a case of just adding the name to the bank. The whole handling. You certainly don't want to... Sometimes I don't think we're fully aware of all the payments that are coming out of our bank accounts, and that sounds like a great inconvenience to me. Just to let you know something you probably already know, I referenced grocery prices last week, and it's something that I really find frustrating because it's like a bill that we can't avoid, and it keeps going up and keeps going up. Every time they put a few extra cent on, it's just that point where another family has to choose between food and heat or something along those lines. But grocery prices, I'm told, are rising 3 times as fast as general inflation, new data has revealed. Prices in the supermarkets are up by an average of almost 5.5%, while the current general inflation rate is 1.8%. A combined extra 46.2 million year on year was spent in July on sun care, smoothies, ice creams, pickles and drinks, antipasti and fresh fruit. I don't know what antipasti is. The spiralling bills mean families are turning more and more to promotions as they seek out better value in their weekly shop. The spiralling bills mean families are turning more and more, as I mentioned, to promotions, vouchers, etc. All right, so that's it. So you're not going mad. Unfortunately, your cost of your groceries is going up all the while. Okay, that's the first hour of the 9 till noon show for this Tuesday. We'll be back with more, much more in fact, after we take a break now for the news at 10 o'clock.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it is 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. The Taoiseach says the sentences handed down to some of those convicted of the killing of Sean Rooney are too lenient. A man convicted of murdering the Irish soldier in Lebanon in December 2022 has been sentenced to death. Meanwhile, a number of co-accused have received lesser penalties. Taoiseach Micheál Martin says his thoughts are with the soldier's family today.
The delay that it has taken to have justice has been far too long, and I must say that some of the sentences are unduly lenient as well in respect of others. I've said repeatedly to the Lebanese authorities that the nobility of the role of the peacekeeper must always be reflected in terms of bringing those who were responsible for this murder to justice, and we will continue to make that point.
Ministers will today discuss plans to exempt log cabins in back gardens from planning permission. Modular units up to 45 square metres will be allowed, with a 4-week public consultation to get underway. It comes as Cabinet will also be told about a push to get local authorities to zone more land for housing. Tom Phillips, Managing Director of Tom Phillips and Associates, says the back garden homes could create more problems than they solve.
It seems crazy. We've got a situation that co-living, which was the later version of student accommodation, is banned, but we're talking about putting modular homes in people's gardens. These are bespoke international form of housing that it works in every other city in the civilised world, and we ban it in Ireland. And yet we're talking about putting sheds in people's back gardens. It's going to be a very, very hard thing to police.
Thousands turned out in Donegal town last night to welcome the Donegal footballers home after their All-Ireland defeat on Sunday. The rain didn't dampen the welcome as the bus arrived and the team were introduced to the crowd. Addressing the gathering, manager Jim McGuinness acknowledged the disappointment but said he firmly believes there are better days ahead.
We're very disappointed we don't have the SAM. We're very, very disappointed, and we're very disappointed more than anything for you people, particularly all these young children across the frontier that are the future of Donegal football on the male and the female side. We're really, really disappointed. But there will be brighter days. The rain will stop and the sun will shine. And I know for a fact that Donegal will be back here someday with the Samba Girl Cup.
Pharmacy staff say there's been a rise in harassment and aggressive behaviour toward them. 9 in 10 pharmacies were the victims of crime in the past year, with 94 of them hit twice. A new survey from the Irish Pharmacy Union shows they're losing €10,000 a year on average per outlet because of crime, with 56% saying employees experienced stress or trauma. The president of the Irish Pharmacy Union, Tom Murray, has been outlining what's been stolen.
And the majority of that is front-of-shop items, it's cosmetics, but there has been an increasing number of over-the-counter medicine stolen, prescription medicine stolen, and even some controlled drugs stolen as well. And obviously, the stronger the medicines, the greater the public health risk of what they're stealing. But people stealing codeine-based medicines or prescription medicines, that's obviously very concerning if they're stealing things like benzodiazepines.
We'll soon know the name of the new Garda Commissioner. Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan will update Cabinet this morning on the appointment. Drew Harris's tenure will end in September. He had faced a vote of no confidence by members of the Garda Representative Association in 2023. Ronan Slevin, the General Secretary of the body, says his new boss has to make a lot of change.
As I said, he has to address the issues. Like, we have a workforce that we can't attract members into the job, so he has to address the retention issue. And those are issues that he can address immediately. He has to suspension, the use of suspension, discipline, the lack of training, the bureaucracy and administration tasks that members unnecessarily have to get involved in on a day-to-day basis.
A 21-year-old man has been charged with multiple driving offences after failing to stop for police on the Eastway in Derry. The driver has been charged with dangerous driving, using a motor vehicle without insurance, failing to stop for police, not having a driving licence, and possession of a Class A controlled drug. He's expected to appear before Derry Magistrates Court on the 20th of August. Looking at the weather forecast, a rather cloudy and misty start this morning with some occasional drizzly patches here and there. There'll be occasional dry spells in the afternoon with top temperatures of 17 to 20 degrees Celsius, northwesterly breezes, a mainly cloudy evening but dry apart from some mist or drizzle patches, northwesterly breezes and lowest overnight temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees Celsius, staying cloudy overall but mostly dry. A few light showers will drift in tomorrow along western counties during the morning and afternoon with top temperatures of 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, again light westerly breezes. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 11 o'clock. In the interim, you can check all of today's news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning.
The obituary notices this Tuesday morning, July 29th. The death has occurred of Anne Kerwin, née McCullough, Abbeylands, Ballyshannon and formerly from Buncrana. House private, please. Funeral arrangements are to follow. Family flowers only. Donations in lieu, if so desired, to Sligo University Hospital, care of John McGee and Sons funeral directors or any family member. The death has taken place of Andy Gillespie, Dreenan at Ballybuffet. Remains are reposing at McCool's funeral home today and tomorrow from 6 p.m, concluding with rosary at 9 o'clock. Funeral leaving there on Thursday at 10:30 for Requiem Mass in St Mary's Church Session Neil at 11 o'clock. Interment in the adjoining churchyard. The Requiem Mass will be streamed live via the parish YouTube channel. Family time on the morning of the funeral, please. The death has occurred of Margaret McBride, née McLaughlin at Main Street, Milford, reposing at her home from 11 o'clock this morning. Rosaries at 9 p.m. Funeral Mass tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in St Peter's Church, Milford. Burial afterwards in Milford Cemetery. Margaret's funeral Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. Family time from 10 p.m. and on the morning of the funeral. The death has occurred of Hugh Doherty, widow, Gransha, Buncrana. Hughes' remains are reposing at his late residence. Funeral from his home tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Going to St Mary's Church, Cockhill for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock with burial afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Family time from 10 p.m. tonight. The funeral can be viewed on churchservices.tv. The death has occurred of Bernard Brian Carr, Crochcara, Kilcar. Remains are reposing at his late residence where the house is strictly private at all times. Funeral Mass will take place tomorrow at 12 noon in St Carthar's Church, Kilcar, followed by private cremation in Lakelands Crematorium, Cavan. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu, if desired, to the Irish Cancer Society, care of any family member or McShane funeral directors. The funeral Mass can be viewed on mcn.live. The death has taken place of Louise McLaughlin nee O'Brien at Traumatic Quigley's Point, formerly of Derry. Louise's remains are reposing at her home. Funeral from there this morning at 10:20 for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass in the Sacred Heart Church Muff, followed by interment in Derry City Cemetery. Funeral Mass can be viewed on mcn.live. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
All around Ireland, ordinary people are doing amazing things every single day with Return. Charities, clubs and organisations are fundraising for causes big and small to benefit their communities. They're turning empty bottles and cans into everything from football kits to park benches, playground equipment to men's sheds, and food bank donations to defibrillators. It's never been easier to get involved and do something good for your community. So come and join the thousands of initiatives using Return for Good at return.ie.
Welcome back into the second hour, in fact, of the 9 till noon show. Some of your comments coming in so far this morning. I've seen a bit of the Donegal homecoming last night, and most of the players walked past all the supporters and didn't high-five them or even smile. Them supporters have been behind that team from day one and stood in the pouring rain last night. The players should have been clapping their supporters, not the other way round. Well, I mean, they're devastated. They're absolutely gutted, and I'd say the last thing they'd want to be doing is celebrating a defeat. Is how many of them might see it. So they'd get a big pass from me, to be honest with you. But I do understand exactly where you're coming from as well. Daniel O'Donnell's words were perfect at last night's homecoming. So proud of the team's journey. Another, the joy and entertainment given freely to us for the entire Donegal football season cannot be defined by Sunday's result. There has to be a winner and a loser. Donegal's support for their team will not diminish one iota. We're looking forward to the league and next year's championship, and our flags will fly as high and as proud as ever, says another listener. Another regarding the All-Ireland tournament, Sam Maguire Cup. Ulster is the toughest province to win a game. Munster is easier. Kerry have no competition and win it every year. They are in the final every year, except Cork in 2010. Donegal people are entitled to fly their flag and back their team that is sport. And last one, just for now on the football topic. Congratulations to all at Four Masters Club who organised a great homecoming event last night for the team. Despite the weather, hundreds turned out and very well organised with music and parking and a great atmosphere. And what could have been? Can you imagine? Maybe it wouldn't have even rained if we had have won, and the crack would have been 90 and the players would have been full of the joys. But now they have a chance to hopefully wind down and spend more time with their families and build to go again. But maybe it's time for us to start trying to plan for something, because Highland Radio has you back there as well. And there's a great wee country music weekend coming up from us here at Highland Radio. And you're invited to get ready and dance the weekend away. It's the Highland Radio Country Music Weekend. Now, what's interesting about this is you're not heading to another county, you're not flying to another country. You get all the fun that our regulars on those trips get, but you go to the Clanry Hotel just in Letterkenny. It's on the 31st of October and the 1st of November. And we've got 2 nights, 1 dance floor. So this is a dance as well, by the way. And some of the biggest names in Irish country music. Michael English and his band, Patrick Fean in his band, David James and his band, Stacey Breen and Jordan McPullen. Now, you can enjoy 2 nights bed and breakfast, plus tickets to both nights of dancing, all for €249 per person. So that means you don't have to worry about driving home or having a designated desi, or even just driving when you've had a good old dance, and wouldn't it be nicer to hop into bed? So it's 2 nights of dancing, 2 nights accommodation, bed and breakfast as well, and it's $249 per person sharing. So you can book directly with the Clanry on 912-4369 or go onto our website highlandradio.com for more information. Now, there's a limited amount of rooms there. So you can imagine the closer we get to the time, the less likely a room available for you might be. Okie doke, let us take a quick break because you're eagerly awaiting, I'm sure, to play the bingo numbers. Here they are.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Tuesday the 29th of July. You're playing on the brown sheet for the Dilly prize of €400. The reference number is S12. It's game number 31. The numbers are 29, 61, 14, 90, 20, 39, 43, 62, 64, and finally 6. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
How would you like fresh organic goodness delivered to your door in the Inishowen area? Every Thursday, White Oak's Acorn Project packs up 6 tasty seasonal vegetables and brings them straight to your home, delivery free. It's local, healthy and perfect for families who love good food. Taste the difference today. Order online at theasacentre.com or call 07493 848866. We are here to help. F93 F104.
Your specialty is quality tiles, bathroom suites and wooden floors. Who is the best range of tiles in Donegal?
Crawford Tiles.
The best wood flooring?
Crawford Tiles.
The best bathroom suites?
Crawford Tiles.
5-day bathroom refits?
Crawford Tiles.
And who's been tampering with my questions?
That'll be me.
Crawford Tiles, Castlefin. That'll be them. 07491 43942.
Big Band Country Nights continue at Logues of Cranford Tuesday with David James and his band. That's another big country night this Tuesday with David James at Logues of Cranford, where you'll also find music in the Wee Bar on Saturday and all-time dancing on Sunday.
It's the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars. Driving value with Suzuki's incredible 10-year warranty and 0% finance. Visit Barry Brown Cars in Milford or Donegal Town today. Your journey to 10 years of worry-free motoring starts here.
The Community Garda Information slot is brought to you by Sheridan Security Systems, monitoring homes and businesses in the northwest for intruder, fire, panic and medical signals. Call Sheridan Security on 91 26025.
It is 14 minutes past 10 on this Tuesday, the 29th of July, and I'm delighted to welcome into studio Garda Sean Sweeney from the Buncrana Garda Station. Sean, thanks so much for calling up.
Morning, Greg.
Really do appreciate it. Okay, quite a bit to get through, and we'll start with an appeal in relation to a road traffic collision at Listinian.
Yeah, it's a 2-vehicle collision occurred in N13, Letterkenny to Balbafay Road, Listinian. Approximately 5:05 p.m. on Friday, the 25th of July. The driver of one of the vehicles, a woman aged in her 60s, remains in hospital to receive treatment for life-threatening injuries. No other injuries were reported. Our appeal is anybody has any information regarding the incident to come forward. Anybody travelled on N13 in Listinian between 4:50 p.m. and 5:15 p.m. may have witnessed an incident to contact us. Any road users who are travelling that area who have camera footage, including dash cam, make it available. You can contact Letterkenny on 9167100 at the confidential line 1800 666 111, or indeed any other Garda station.
Appeal also launched in relation to a road traffic collision in Carrigans.
Yeah, again, this is a 2-vehicle road traffic collision at Cartruce and Carrigans, Friday the 25th of July, shortly before midnight. Driver and passenger of one of the cars remained at the scene. They didn't sustain any injuries. The driver of the other car immediately left the scene on foot. In our appeal to anybody who witnessed the collision may have travelled in that area, his dash cam footage between 11:30 p.m. on Friday the 25th and 12:30 after midnight on Saturday the 26th, make it available. You can contact Letterkenny Garda Station.
Okay, now on to the theft of a caravan.
Yeah, it's the theft of a Bailey Pegasus GT65 caravan from the area of Tullygay in Letterkenny between midnight on Friday the 25th of July and 8:30 a.m. on Monday the 28th. The caravan is white in colour and a 2014 model. So we appeal to anybody who may observe this caravan in transit between those dates. Contact the Letterkenny Gardaí. Should anyone come across a similar type of caravan sale on a second-hand basis, we ask them to alert Gardaí. You can use a confidential line again, 1800 666 111.
Yeah, it's a toughie because the number plate's probably gone off it.
Yeah,
it's hard
exactly.
to sort of pin it down, but people in the know will know anyway. If you're familiar with caravans and the different shapes and what have you. Okay, hopefully you have success in relation to that. Theft, this time Lurky Brack Letterkenny.
Yeah, the theft a substantial amount of copper from the ESB substation at Lurky Brack between 5 p.m. on Monday the 21st of July and 9:30 a.m. on Monday the 28th of July. Stolen items were 300 metres of copper wire, 19 by 1.5 and 9 5-metre lengths of copper wire. No damage is caused in order to gain entry to the site, so we appeal to anybody who may have observed suspicious activity in the area Is any relevant information to contact Letterkenny Gardaí or the confidential line.
Yeah, and criminal damage this time in the south of the county, but also focusing seemingly on an ESB substation.
Yeah, exactly. So it's occurred between midnight on Monday, July 21st, and 9 p.m. on Sunday, July 27th, at the substation, the Ballbafay Road in Donegal Town. Steel railings to the station were cut and bent between those dates. Entry was not gained to the main building and nothing was stolen. So we appeal to anybody observed suspicious activity in the area between those dates. Contact Gardaí in Ballyshannon 07198 58530.
Okay, let's go to Carndonagh now. Some public order instances being investigated.
Yeah, so a number of public order assault incidents that occurred in Carndonagh town on the evening of Thursday the 24th of July. An altercation believed to have taken place between a number of male youths, teenagers, between approximately 5:45 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. at the Diamond and also on Malin Street a short time later. One male teenager was taken to Letterkenny University Hospital following incidents to receive treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. So we're in the process of gathering witness statements, and all available CCTV is being viewed. So our appeal is any witnesses who have not yet spoken to us, get in touch with Cranagh Garda Station on 9320540. They also appeal to anybody who may have travelled within the town, particularly in the areas of the Diamond and Malin Street, between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. with dashcam footage. Please make it available to us.
Yeah, okay. And an assault being investigated in Ballybofey.
Yeah, so appealing for witness alleged assault that happened on Navenny Street in Ballybofey near the junction with the Chestnut Road on Sunday the 27th July between 9:30 p.m. and 9:50 p.m. Man reported he was assaulted at that location between those times by another man. The injured man was taken by ambulance to Letterkenny for non-life-threatening injuries. Our appeal to the witnesses get in touch with Gardaí in Ballyshannon, and any appeal is also anybody's dashcam footage as usual.
All right, okay. Now, we were chatting to Garda Clare last week about the Check It Fits. There's still some of these events coming up. Really important that if you have a young person in a seat, that it's all buckled up and fitted correctly. And we've got some help in that regard, Sean.
Yeah, the RCA are providing assistance with that. So they'll be visiting Donegal this week. The services will be open from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at each location. There's no need to book an appointment. So the 29th of July is today. They're in Aldi and Buncrana. On the 30th of July, Smith's Toys in Letterkenny. 31st of July, SuperValue in Donegal Town. And 1st August, Aldi and Dungloe. This is free nationwide service, but help parents and guardians for fitting the child seats for the car for all the children. So to fix any problems, demonstrate it, and if you want any more information, you can visit rsa.ie/checkitfits.
Right, we are heading into the August bank holiday weekend. It's really cracked up on us. Obviously, from a Garda perspective, a policing perspective, unfortunately, we know there can be sort of peaks in detections or collisions or what have you, and we do it every time there's a bank holiday, and it's for good reason. So what's the message this time, Sean?
Yeah, look, the bank holiday is always to be high visibility checkpoints and speed checks across the roads. So our appeal is to drivers, don't drive when you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Slow down, wear your seatbelt, don't use your mobile phone. You know the consequences for doing this kind of behaviour. It can be devastating. So we just ask everybody be enjoyable and hope you have a safe bank holiday weekend.
Okay, and you had a lovely weekend. Not the result you wanted, but family day out down in Dublin.
Unfortunately not, no, but yeah, it's a good day for the young fella to see, cheer on the boys.
It's amazing, isn't it, to see it first hand. Okay, listen, Sean, thanks very much for that. That's Garda Sean Swinney with the Buncrana Garda Station, and that was Community Garda Information. I'll be back with you on the programme live just after the 10 o'clock news next Tuesday, and you can podcast it or watch it back on the Garda Síochána Facebook page a little later on this morning.
The Community Garda Information slot is brought to you by Sheridan Security Systems, monitoring homes and businesses in the Northwest for intruder, fire, panic and medical signals. Call Sheridan Security on 91-26025. Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
You're tuned to the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars, where your new 252 Suzuki comes with 0% finance and a 10-year warranty. Visit Barry Brown Cars in Milford or Donegal Town for 10 years of peace of mind motoring.
If you're aged 59 to 70, we will invite you for a free HSE bowel screening home test. Screening can help find signs of bowel cancer early, before any symptoms show, making it easier to treat.
Do you want to take the next step in your career? At Atlantic Technological University, we can help. Choose from over 400 part-time courses starting this September. Build qualifications in business, engineering, science, computing, health and education. From short courses to postgraduate degrees, study part-time in a flexible learning environment designed to suit you. Apply now at atu.ie/flexible. ATU. Embark on your learning journey your way.
On the road this summer? Make Maple your first stop. At Maple, we've got everything you need, plus a little treat to keep you going. Fuel up, stock up on fresh meats and salads, chilled drinks, and don't forget your favourite ice cream. All under one roof. Wherever your journey takes you, there's a Maple nearby. In Milford, Carrigard, Falcarra, Castlefin, Burtonport, Derrybeg, Ballyliffin and Moville. Maple stores. Keeping it fresh, local and convenient all summer long.
Pocket the perfect match with Vodafone. Because when you pair the new iPhone 16, built for Apple Intelligence, with Ireland's best mobile network, you pay absolutely nothing up front. Simply switch today. Vodafone. Together we can.
Subject to availability and switching to our 24-month €65 plan by 31st of August 2025. Each April, the monthly plan price will increase by €3.50. Best Network Umlaut 2025. For certification and full terms, see vodafone.ie/terms.
Don't delay when you get your bowel screening invitation. Call us today on 1800 45 45 55 or visit bowelscreen.ie. From the HSE.
Welcome back to the programme. So yesterday was a huge day for the Northwest, for Sligo and Letterkenny, both hospitals receiving significant investment, and a number of people have sort of said, well, you know, where was the publicity in the newspapers or on telly in relation to this? Amongst them, Fine Gael Councillor Michael Boyle. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Greg. How you doing? Good morning to all your listeners.
Yeah. I mean, this was a massive investment in the Northwest, it has to be said, but it kind of, I could only find it in one paper, if I'm completely honest with you. I'm not sure if it was in yesterday's papers.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, only the Highland and the local radio stations that would got no publicity at all. And my grievance about it is, if it was bad news, it would be plastered all over every radio station and all the news medias. You know, and it's 200 million coming into the Northwest, 100 million for Letterkenny and 100 million for Sligo. You know, it's nothing to be sneezed at, and it's a great news day. This has been a cross-party thing. It's not a Fine Gael political broadcast. You know, Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil have all been working this, along with independents and the doctors, and I think it's fallen into deaf ears. You know, I was very disappointed. It got no praise at all.
Yeah, and it got really very little coverage. I mean, there was one morning it was on the national broadcaster, but that was that. And indeed, the health minister was on the next day, and they probably had an opportunity to progress the story then and didn't. But you say that if it was a bad news story, we'd hear all about it. I'm not quite sure, Michael. I think we just struggled to get any coverage nationally up here. And you almost don't want to say it because you sound like you're poor-mouthing again. You know, that sort of way, but it's obvious.
No, it's nothing poor mouth, and I always hear you on, you know, speaking about the large broadcasters, and you're 100% right. You know, I don't know why this didn't get any praise at all. You know, like if it was in Dublin or it was in Galway, you know, it'd be all over the news. But you know, this has been delivered for Donegal and Sligo, and we don't have too many days like this. And you know, it's a great news story. And I was very disappointed about what the media did with it. You know, they didn't cover it at all, except yourselves and Ocean and Radio na Gaeltacht. You know, they were all there doing that. But RT was there too, and I don't know why they chose to put on maybe a 20-second clip on the 9 o'clock news. You know, it's a big news story for us in Donegal.
But the problem is, whilst the national media is based in Dublin, and this is no disrespect to the hard-working correspondents who I'm sure would say to their editors, look, I've got a 3-minute package on this, and the editors go, no, we don't have time for that this evening. You know, I'm sure that happens. When you have the media based in Dublin, and the politicians are based in Dublin, and this is based in Dublin, that's based in Dublin, very quickly, I don't think you see outside of the pale. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you see the northwest or the southeast.
Greg.
You know, we're farmers and tourists. That's all we are. Do you know what I mean? We're farmers and tourists.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, no, it was very disappointing to see. I came home here after we left Letterkenny after a good day yesterday, looking forward to watching the 6-1 News for a change, because, you know, usually when we're looking at Donegal on RT, it's a sad story, or, you know, but you know what, it was a good news story yesterday, and we're very, very thankful for Jennifer Carey McNeil to come up yesterday and make that announcement. Every politician, doesn't matter what party it is, we've all been lobbying on it. And it was a good news day for Donegal, and for it to fall on deaf ears was very disappointing.
No, and you're quite right. Right across all parties and none, no one stepped out of line. All politicians worked really hard together in relation to this, and between the bit of coordination between they and then the doctors and the consultants and what have you, it became a message that was impossible to ignore. Now, that being said, we've been disappointed in the past, but as you've quite rightly pointed out, when we do succeed, we have to celebrate that as well. And I'm full of praise for the health minister, because I got the impression she genuinely cared, and it seems, having come up here yesterday, she's shown that she actually does genuinely care. And as I say, you have to call that out when it's there.
She's an amazing woman, not because she's my party or ever. Jennifer listened from day one. That's why we knew something was going to happen, because she listened to what we had to say. You know, it's not too many ministers, doesn't matter what side of the house they are, you know, do listen. And we owe Jennifer Carey McNeil a lot. We owe the doctors too. You know, we went over there yesterday. I've only been in politics, well, elected and co-opted in March, you know. And we went over there yesterday, and the staff coming out hugging us and crying. You know, this means a lot to the people. You know, that's what disappointed me, that it didn't make headlines. Like, everybody was so grateful yesterday this happened. You know, this secures the future of Letterkenny Hospital. And, you know, there'll not be too many days like this, Greg. You know, it's a momentous occasion.
Siobhan pointing out it was on RT last night, and Dolores pointing out it was on Virgin Media News. I think really what you're saying is, yes, you know, there was some coverage of it, but you think it could have been a big news story, maybe worthier of a 4 or 5 minute package. That's really what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't on the 6-1. Like 6-1 News is the broadcast. You know, I know it was on for a few seconds on the 9 o'clock news, but I think it should have got more coverage. You know, I do think. And as I said before, only for the local radio stations giving it coverage, like nobody would have heard nothing about it at all.
It's funny how it can slip under the radar. All right, Michael, thanks for your time. Greg. Take care of yourself, Councillor Michael Boyle there. What do you think? 086 60 25,000. I just feel once you have the main core of the national media based in Dublin, it's very, very hard to sort of sometimes, you know, break a mindset. Good morning, Greg. Jim McGuinness walked down to the supporters. One of the boys. Great show there, Greg. Jim boys will be back bigger and better. That comes in from Audrey in Claddie. We expect sometimes, I think, too much of players that have given so much and sacrificed so much in terms of, I don't know, whether it's holidays or work or time with the family, and they are for the most part doing it for nothing. So there's an awful lot of personal disappointment, and I think we need to give them the space to sort of have that. And each player is going to be different. Some are going to be like, well, we'll come again stronger. Others might say to themselves, I'm not sure I can do that again. Others might say, but do you think Jim's going to hang around? You know, this is a very personal sort of thing for them, and they have to be given an opportunity, I suppose, to process it. Well done to Oisín and all his team for a great weekend of sport. That comes in from Joe. Yep, Oisín Kelly, Brendan Devaney, Brendan Kilcoyne, all of them really did a fantastic job down there. My grandchildren went to Donegal Town yesterday evening to greet the team. They came home very disappointed that the team walked on with their heads down and ignored the children shouting to them, very poor losers. We appreciate they're broken from loss, but I personally feel they gave a very poor example to the kids about bravery in the face of losing. There had to be a winner and a loser. Perhaps Jim McGuinness should have given them a better talking to about greeting the fans. Listen, they turned up. You know, it's very hard if you're ultra competitive. It's very hard to cheer and high five losing, because ultimately that's what it is. And saying, oh, well, they're the second best team in the world. Those guys went down there looking to win, and they're winners. And it's very hard just to put on a bright face about losing so soon after. But others, pragmatic, as I say, others, there's a smile there, and they know their time will come again. But for those of them that are ultra competitive, you can understand that they're going to be absolutely gutted. Right, a man has been sentenced to death in Lebanon after he was convicted for his part in the killing of Irish peacekeeper Private Sean Rooney. He was shot dead while serving in the region in December 2022. Deputy Rory O'Murhu joins me on the programme now. Of course, Deputy has been in touch with the family on a number of occasions in relation to this case and knows some of the family very well indeed. Deputy, thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Greg. Well, first and foremost, this is obviously a very tough time for Natasha, for the wider family, and the friends and colleagues of Private Sean Rooney. And I suppose the most important thing we can do is remember his sacrifice. But I, like many other people, am not particularly happy with what we have seen happen so far in the Lebanon. As regards what was meant to be an attempt to find justice for Sean Rooney, and there are a number of questions that need to be answered. I will be writing to the Taoiseach and Taoiseach today. We need to ensure that we show our displeasure, and I am glad of what's in the public domain from themselves in relation to this, but also we need to find out questions like, where is Mohammed Ayed at this point in time? And then, as I said, there's a huge follow-up in relation to whether we're talking about the UN, the Defence Forces, and a number of investigations that are to happen, that we need to also find out the ins and outs of everything that happened surrounding it, and we ensure that we learn from this. Like, we cannot forget the sacrifice, but we also need to make sure that we put in what mitigations we can in what will always be dangerous as regards peacekeeping. But again, it's absolutely vital that we look after the family also of Sean Rooney, and we ensure that they are provided with all the information, and that means from all the bodies involved in this. And I think that's the only thing that's right. We also have to remember Trooper Kearney at this point in time, who obviously suffered horrific injuries, and the other two who were injured also.
Are you satisfied that the right people were before the courts and that this is actual justice? And I'm not suggesting for a second, by the way, that that is not the case, but I'm just wondering, in terms of the transparency of the whole process, the fact that the key defendant seems to be AWOL, and for everybody else it's sort of a couple of months here or there, or a fine here or there. Are we satisfied that this is a robust system and it's not just a case of trying to be seen to be doing something to draw a line under it?
I don't think any of us can be happy with what we've seen. I don't think anybody can see this as any element of justice. Look, first of all, when Mohammed Ayed was released on bail, down to medical conditions, and I'm not aware what the ins and outs of those were. We know that the Irish government was very late in relation to being told about this. We're not entirely sure where he is at this point in time. It's very, very strange that, you are sentenced to death in absentia. We know that what's likely to happen here is that will be commuted. But the one thing that we do know is that Private Sean Rooney was given a death sentence on that fateful day. And we need to make sure that everything is done, as I say, by the government in relation to finding justice. And this certainly isn't justice at this point in time. As I say, the two things that I've always thought about in this case was the memory of Sean Rooney, and that justice is provided, and that and I suppose the other vital piece, any learnings that need to be learned from a point of view of we secure absolutely our peacekeepers who are doing a dangerous job, doing an absolutely vital job. But we know that the remit had changed in relation to what UNIFIL troops were doing at that point in time. We know that they were no longer informing the Lebanese Defence Forces in relation to their actions and movement, and that we know Hezbollah wasn't particularly happy about this. We know the remit was technically about trying to ensure there would only be one armed group, being the Lebanese army in Lebanon. Now, whether that was a possibility is another thing, but the fact is, because Hezbollah were not happy with this set of circumstances, they had issued a whole pile of statements in relation to the fact that UNIFIL troops and others were Israeli spies, and that heightened the whole circumstance. But we know what happened on that day. It was utterly unacceptable in every way, shape or form, and I don't think anybody in Ireland could be happy in relation to what happened there. This is not good enough in any way, shape or form in relation to Private Sean Rooney, the sacrifice he made, and the absolute heinous crime that was carried out against him.
Yeah, and it almost throws up more questions than answers, and you know, information seemingly going missing or hard to get cooperation from parties involved in this that you would expect them to be very forthcoming in providing information.
Well, you're talking about the United Nations.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no, I believe so. And look, I've been in the grandparents' home and I have seen the Secretary-General Antonio Guterres' letter where he speaks about the bravery of Sean Rooney and how he avoided other deaths on that day due to his, courage and obviously his skill set as a driver. But then we've seen the issues in relation to the UN not being forthcoming in relation to the information. We know there are a number of cases in play at this point in time as regards the Defence Forces, the state and the UN. But what we need to see, and the reason I've had so many interactions with particularly the Taoiseach and Taoiseach in this, is the fact that we need to ensure that this state does absolutely everything. I believe there's a greater freedom now that the case is done to a degree, so therefore the engagement should be happening already with the Lebanese from a point of view of our dissatisfaction, but also the questions in relation to where Mohammed Ayed is. Mm-hmm. But it's absolutely unacceptable that all the information that is in relation to what happened on the day isn't provided to the family, and where we don't have absolutely clarity in relation to everything, and then that we ensure that, as I say, as we often talk about learnings, we don't always learn from them, and we need to learn from this on the basis that we lost, as they say, somebody who is missed and will be missed forever in both Dundalk and Newton Cunningham and beyond, and who made, as I say, the ultimate sacrifice. And the only way we can do any justice by that is ensuring that this state, that this country looks after him and those that follow in peacekeeping duties from here on in.
Okay, thank you for your time this morning. That's Sinn Féin Deputy Ruairi O'Murrough, who is obviously has been liaising with the family quite extensively over the course of this case, but also knows grandparents very well in relation to that. And you just would have hoped a day like today, or, a sequence of days like we've seen over the last couple of days would be the beginning of maybe the end. But unfortunately, it seems to be raising many more questions than are being answered. Right, Tom Murray's president of the Irish Pharmacy Union, and he joins us on the programme now. Good morning, Tom. Thanks so much for your time.
Morning, Greg. How are you?
Great to have you with us as well. Now, almost 90% of pharmacies were victims of crime in the past 12 months. 94% have been hit twice. That's staggering.
Yeah, it is. It's a worrying concern for pharmacists and for the patients and for our staff. There's almost 90% this year, which is up from 72% in 2020. And actually nearly a third of them have had more than 10 incidences a year, and 59% have been by the same person, so repeated offenders coming into pharmacies. I suppose the greatest concern is people need to recognise pharmacies are healthcare environments. So if you're coming in to discuss something about serious issues about your health or concern about your medicine, the last thing you need is to see distractions where you're having to deal with a security incident in the pharmacy. And 14% of them even involved weapons. So harassment and aggression, I suppose, is a reflection of society, and crime is on the up. But it's getting more and more frequent in pharmacy, absolutely.
And it's more likely that they're coming in to try and steal high-value items off the shelf, or are they trying to access drugs, that are obviously present there?
Absolutely. There's a lot of high-value items at the front of the shop which are being stolen, but there is an increasing risk where 10% of the thefts involved over-the-counter medicines. So there would be medicines predominantly involving codeine or pseudoephedrine that maybe be getting misused. There was 3% involved control drugs, which is very heavy medicines containing opiates, and 7% were prescription-only medicines. So the concern there is obviously misuse or abuse or on selling onwards. And there is a public safety issue with people taking medicines. Without a doubt, the majority of the stuff, though, is theft of high-value items at the front of the shop. Even that, though, contributes to huge distress for the staff. And some of the pharmacies have obviously had to close to deal with stressed staff after an incident. And more importantly, as I say, if you have stressed patients coming in, people need to recognise we have patients coming in who might be diagnosed with cancer, they come in and get their first high-tech chemotherapy drug, and we're trying to sit there and counsel them and provide pharmaceutical services to that patient. It's very, very hard on that patient and on the pharmacist involved if there's somebody in threatening staff, acting aggressively, and then stealing from the pharmacy.
I don't think you can rely on sort of appealing to the better judgment of the perpetrators of this. So what
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so what can be done, or what assistance can be provided?
I suppose the first thing is 2/3 of pharmacists want more Gardaí on the streets, and I think the Gardaí want more Gardaí on the streets. The greatest repellent to ongoing crime is obviously more visible Gardaí. And I also think that 58% said they don't bother reporting it because they've no faith in the criminal justice system. So where nearly 2/3 of the crime is being conducted by the same person and it's recidivist, it's very frustrating when you do make a report and then you go to court and you see somebody getting told off and then they come in the next day and they do the same thing again. So I guess what has happened this year is the Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, and the Junior Minister, Alan Dillon, did host a retail forum in May on the crime issues in society and in retail. And I'd like to see that report published and see it implemented. There was Operation Targa by the Gardaí between December 23 and November 24. And that led in 20,000 charges and summonses with nearly 8,500 arrests. I'd like to see that re-implemented. So for the government to publish and to implement some of their own reports, support the Gardaí by having more of them visible, and that will help support everybody in society, really.
And I think, in pharmacy and other similar businesses, shoplifting is always going to be the problem, but it's just the reoffending, the aggression, becoming more confident, probably because they know A, they won't get caught, and B, if they do, they'll back out tomorrow morning to do the exact same thing again. And that does create a space that we see more of this type of activity.
Yeah, worryingly, one of the tables that Ireland leads globally is we have the highest rate of theft in the world per capita. But €339 per person, which is over 1.6 billion annually in Ireland. It's one of the global tables that we don't want to be at the top of as a country, but we are, simply because theft, as you say, hard to detect, hard to prevent, and even I know that Mary Fitzpatrick the Senate introduced a Protection of Retail Workers Act, and there is work to remove the retail defamation. So if you were, I'm not saying you would be, but if you were suspiciously acting in my pharmacy and I approached you, and then you can say that I defamed you in the pharmacy, that prevents you dealing with somebody who you know is up to no good. So there are things.
I wasn't familiar with that. So, in other words, if you were to even sort of query how I might be behaving, you could be found responsible for that.
I could be found responsible for defaming you. Yeah. So there is. The government are supposed to be amending the Public Order Act to try and remove the retail defamation clause that's in there, which would allow people where they are suspecting somebody of theft to actually be able to approach them with a bit more confidence. It's very difficult to approach somebody if you think you're going to be sued for having accused them of theft, even though you've seen them clearly try to steal from you. So some protection for pharmacists, for their staff, and for all retail really would be achieved by implementing some of the things that the government have highlighted they wish to do. But again, number one is more Gardaí, and from our point of view, have respect for the fact that pharmacies are healthcare environments. As you said, you can't appeal to the better nature of these people, but it's not appropriate when you're trying to deal with sick children or worried mothers or worried fathers or just patients worried about their own healthcare, and then you have to deal with somebody being aggressive, harassing your staff and trying to steal from you.
Just finally, just in relation to, I can't help but feel that, the HSC and EDs claim to have a zero tolerance attitude towards disrespect towards employees and all that type of stuff. Does that need to be extended to pharmacy?
I would say most pharmacists we work in a caring environment would have a zero tolerance attitude.
So it's self-implicated. Yeah, you put that in yourself, right? Okay.
Yeah, but it's very difficult, particularly like the majority, and I don't mean to sound in any way sexist, the majority of pharmacists are female. It's very difficult to come out, and if you've got a young adult male that's very aggressive and harassing, to try and get them out of the pharmacy and to implement a zero tolerance is difficult. But it's something we are faced with on a regular basis. I think when it is dealt with, then, as you say, and you meet the guy the next day, he comes back in and does it again, it's slightly frustrating, to say the least.
To say the least, indeed. All right, Tom, listen, thanks very much indeed.
All right.
Very
Thanks,
nice
Greg.
to have you on the show. That's Tom Murray there, President of the Irish Pharmacy Union. Some shocking figures in there, and it's tough enough to be in business without facing that level of theft from property. Comments here. Good morning, Greg. Thank you. I firmly believe it's because of yourself that we are getting a surgical hub. You dug deep and found all the information and used it to our advantage. You interviewed all the necessary people and very respectfully called out lies and cover-ups. You never let up, and because of that, we, the Donegal people, will have better health, and moving forward, our health minister should know we will stand up for what's right. So thank you, Greg. Thanks. If I had any role in it at all, I'd be over the moon. I think Donegal gets a lot of coverage on RTE compared to the likes of counties Leitrim or Sligo. Last night on Nationwide, the whole programme was about Bundoran and its history. On Saturday, Sunday morning, there's a lot of coverage about the county on RTE Radio 1. Another only a few months ago, Pat the Cope Gallagher said meeting health ministers would be just a box-ticking exercise. He must have egg in his face today, him supporting the government. I didn't agree with that stance at that time either. If you've an opportunity to go and speak to a health minister outside a hospital, and I think really, well, anyway, I'll not get too much into it, but I think it was perhaps a little bit of a misstep at that time. Okay, I'll be back with more after these.
Sick of surprise car bills? You're tuned to the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars, Milford and Donegal Town, your main Suzuki dealer in Donegal. Grab your 252 Suzuki now with 0% finance and a rock-solid 10-year warranty.
A seesaw, a staring contest, a high five? Some things are hard to do on your own. In business, becoming more sustainable can be one of them. That's why Bank of Ireland has introduced the Sustainable Business Coach. This free digital platform gives you guidance, support, and a practical plan to help you take your next sustainability steps. To get started today, search Bank of Ireland Sustainable Business Coach. Bank of Ireland is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
At Blue Poppy Dentistry and Orthodontics, we specialise in creating confident, natural-looking smiles through expert composite bonding. Doctors Anna and Lydia combine precision and artistry to reshape, refine and refresh your smile with stunning results. It's just one of the many ways Blue Poppy puts your smile first. Call us on 07491 20355 or book online at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dental and Orthodontics, Letterkenny and Donegal Town, where smiles shine brighter.
At ESB, we're committed to communities and recognise the importance of the artists living within them. That's why we're proud sponsors of one of Ireland's longest-running folk festivals, the Ballyshannon Folk and Traditional Music Festival, which brings together a community of musicians and music lovers from all over the world. So join us from the 31st of July to the 3rd of August at Ballyshannon, County Donegal, for the best of Ireland's folk and traditional music. Find out more at esb.ie.
Announcing the 56th Clonmany Festival, featuring Ireland's top bands including Nathan Carter, Derek Ryan, Mike Denver, Jimmy Buckley, David James, Michael English, Leona Hagan, the Tumbling Paddies and the Two Bucks. For a full programme, visit clonmanyfestival.com.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Find amazing savings across our departments with up to 50% off your favourite brands in our summer sale. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
The weather forecast now, rather cloudy and misty start this morning. Some occasional drizzle patches here and there. Temperatures 17 to 20 degrees a little later on. We're joined on the programme now by Conor Coyle, journalist with the Irish News. Conor, thanks for joining me again this morning. It's very nice to have you on the programme.
No problem. Thanks very much for having me on.
Right, Conor, an update in relation to the tragic shooting that occurred in County Fermanagh last week. The shooting suspect has died in hospital.
Yes, so 43-year-old Ian Rutledge had been in a very serious condition in the Royal Victoria Hospital since the shooting incident last Wednesday. We had fairly good information, I suppose, for the last few days that he would be unlikely to survive that. The police had indicated themselves that they had made no arrests in relation to this incident and didn't anticipate that there would be any further arrests. So from the information we had, we knew it would be unlikely that Ian Rutledge would survive this. And so it came to pass yesterday that he died in the Royal Victoria Hospital. So I suppose the in terms of the investigation now at this stage, police will continue obviously to gather the evidence that they can in terms of the circumstances of what happens in that house in Maguire's Bridge, which led to the deaths of Vanessa White and her children, James and Sarah. But the most likely course of action, I suppose, ultimately will come to an inquest, which, will be the ultimate, I suppose, arbiter of what happened or what went on.
Now, the funeral of Vanessa White and James and Sarah will take place down in County Clare now, we know, tomorrow.
No, so the funeral will take place on Saturday, as far as I'm aware.
Right, okay.
So Vanessa White was originally from a small village called Bearfield, just outside Ennis in County Clare. And from what we know, she was very proud and a proud native Clare woman. And I'm just looking at a picture in the paper here today, just of her and her two children, very proud as punch. During the All-Ireland final in Croke Park last year, which was won by Clare. So, yes, I think that my understanding is that her family were quite keen for that funeral service to take place in Clare, and that will happen on Saturday.
Yep, you're perfectly correct. Sorry about that. I just misread that. Listen, thank you very much for your time, Conor. I do appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks.
Conor Coyle there, journalist with the Irish News there. Now, we were speaking about the flooding that took place in Burnfoot there a number of years ago, and we promised to get you the official response in relation to that. The Burnfoot flood relief scheme remains a priority for the Office of Public Works as funder, and Donegal County Council is client and project lead. Consultant RPS have prepared a planned documentation for submission to on Commission Planala. Documentation is currently undergoing legal review prior to submission in Q3 of this year. Following a period of recruitment, Donegal County Council's Flood Relief Scheme Unit, which is 100% funded by the Office of Public Works, now has a full staffing allocation of 5 personnel, not the one that was mentioned. Reviewing of staffing levels will remain an ongoing exercise between the Office of Public Works and the Council, with both parties fully committed a successful delivery of all ongoing flood relief schemes in the county. Updates on all coming schemes can be found at County Donegal FRS.ie. So what it's saying effectively is that they seem to be, at this point anyway, maybe it's still open for review, they are continuing to prepare to go to do the work in relation to flood mitigation and flood relief for those houses in Burnfoot. So we'll keep an eye on that story, of course, and keep you updated as we get any further information. That politician on complaining about no big coverage about the announcement of the new hub, but we wouldn't have got it had it not been for the public discovering about the shady Lowry deal given to Sligo, the hub over Donegal. Michael Ball's ignoring the fact that we'd have to beg for what we shouldn't have to, then he wants praise. And it was a funny Friday morning, that, because as it turns out, and it was not by design, that we had Marion Harkin, who is, of course, a representative for a bit of South Donegal and Sligo, and Declan Meehan, who's one of the political voices you would have heard most about that hub. And I was just curious, was it part of the deal? And from there, look at where we ended up. Hopefully it helped. Question. I know ones travelling to the game on Sunday at the toll bridge had to pay $2.60 and $1.70 on the way back, which is the price both ways. Is this something that they just did for the day of the match? Just on a more joking side, was it Sam Maguire or the hub for Donegal? Great news anyway, and Sam will come again. I'm not sure, really, to be honest. I tap and I probably should pay more attention, but I don't use that road very often, and I just pull up and tap in a way. So I'm not really sure the prices. I'd have to check my statements. I know the Chancellor did say RTE covered the surgical hub story for about 20 seconds on the 9 p.m. news. I'd have to contradict him because they did spend a good few minutes on the topic, and a local doctor, along with a few other people, as well as the Minister, spoke on the matter. Okay, thank you for that. Great news about the hospital. Well done, Greg and Highland. Greg, I'm proud of the team, but I thought the young children waited to see them and they could make an effort. Okay, I get where you're coming from, but I feel I can see it from the players' perspective as well, and they're gutted, and I'm sure they'll spend lots of time with those kids at their various grounds over the course of the next the club season and into the next year's league and championship, etc. The Donegal football team should be showing the people that they have still fight in them and telling the people next time we'll play to the death to win. Sam not standing with their heads down. This does not show the fight they need to play in the big final. What do you think? 086 60 25,000. Okay, we'll be talking to all of the Marys, those participating in the Mary from Dungloe, that section, the Mary from Dungloe International Festival. We'll be chatting to them over the course of the next hour, much of it anyway. Okay, but we'll head towards the news at 11 with this break.
Highland Bakery brings the magic to your morning tea break. Golden scones, still warm, soft in the middle and impossible to resist. Look for the packet with the rabbit on it. Fresh from the oven to your local shop. 25 years of Highland Bakery.
Are you struggling to secure finance for your small business? Microfinance Ireland can help. We are a government-funded lender supporting both established small businesses and startups. We can provide loans from €2,000 to €50,000 with interest rates as low as 6.5%. And we work closely with local enterprise offices. So if you need help and guidance, they are a great place to start. Find out more or apply online at microfinanceIreland.ie. Microfinance Ireland, helping small businesses with big ideas.
Mary here from the cosmetic department at McGee's Pharmacy to let you know that Clarence have a great skincare gift available this week. Buy 2 Clarence products, one to be skincare, and you will get a choice of 3 deluxe size essentials from a selection of 10. Which 3 will you choose? This great Clarence offer is available until Saturday the 9th of August or while stocks last, and store and online at mcgees.ie. Remember, for any skincare advice, you can always talk to myself or any staff member here at McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny, where the best costs less.
Join me, David James, to experience the magic of Riverdance 30, the new generation. I'll be your host on Thursday, August 28th for a spectacular trip to Dublin's Gaiety Theatre. You will enjoy luxury coach travel, your ticket to the show, and a 4-star overnight stay in the centre of Dublin. Spaces are now very limited, so don't miss out. Book your spot today by contacting Highland Radio on 074 91 25000 or visit highlandradio.com.
Want stress-free motoring for the next 10 years? Today's show is brought to you by Barry Brown Cars, your main Suzuki dealer in Donegal with locations in Milford and Donegal Town, offering 0% finance and a comprehensive 10-year warranty on your new Suzuki.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
Okay, it is 11 o'clock on the button. Let's get a news update, and it's over to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Gardaí are appealing for witnesses to come forward after a crash has left a woman with life-threatening injuries. The collision, which involved 2 cars, happened on the N13 Letterkenny to Ballybuffet Road in the area of Listillion after 5 o'clock in the evening. Garda Sean Sweeney made an appeal on this morning's 9 till Noon Show, which you can listen to in full on our website. The Taoiseach says the sentences handed down to some of those convicted of the killing of Sean Rooney are too lenient. A man convicted of murdering the Irish soldier in Lebanon in December 2022 has been sentenced to death. Meanwhile, a number of co-accused have received lesser penalties. Taoiseach Micheál Martin says his thoughts are with the soldier's family today. An investigation has been launched after a hit-and-run incident in Carrigans. The 2-vehicle collision happened at the Castrus area on Friday last, just before midnight, while the driver and passenger of one car who were uninjured remained at the scene. The other driver fled on foot. Gardaí are asking those who may have witnessed the incident or anyone travelling in the area with a dashcam between 11:30 and midnight to come forward. We'll soon know the name of the new Garda Commissioner. Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan will update Cabinet this morning on the appointment, with Drew Harris's tenure coming to an end in September. He faced a vote of no confidence by members of the Garda Representative Association back in 2023. Gardaí say a substantial amount of copper wire was stolen from the ESB substation at Lurgy Brack, Letterkenny, between 5 o'clock on Monday, July 21st and 9:30 yesterday morning. 300 metres of 19 by 1.5 wire were taken, along with 9 5-metre lengths of wire. No damage was caused to gain entry to the site. And finally, thousands turned out in Donegal town last night to welcome the Donegal footballers home after their All-Ireland defeat on Sunday. The rain didn't dampen the welcome as the bus arrived and the team were introduced to the crowd. Addressing the gathering, manager Jim McGuinness acknowledged the disappointment but says he firmly believes there's better days ahead. That's all for now. We'll be back with more headlines at 12 noon.
Thanks, Donna Marie.
Listen, you weren't kidding about pet insurance. I should have got it. Just had Piper at the vet's. She ate what is turning out to be the most expensive bar of chocolate of all time. Don't worry, she's fine. My bank account? Not so much.
Real life. Written by you, underwritten by Allianz. Protect your pet with 12% off new pet insurance policies at allianz.ie. Allianz PLC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Standard acceptance criteria and terms and conditions apply.
Okay, it's that time of the year again. We are in the throes of the Mary from Dungloe International Festival, and every year we are blessed to have the Marys land in to have a chat with us. And I think a lot of people watch it because they'll be watching the show there on the TG Cahir player on Sunday and wondering if they can pick the right winner or not the winner or whatever. I'm joined in studio by Claire O'Donnell, who was the Donegal Mary and was the 2024 Mary from Dungloe. Quite an off year for you, Claire, really, generally speaking, wasn't it?
It was very busy. I've had the busiest year of my life,
so
actually.
Talk us through it.
Oh, it was fantastic. So basically, I've just been non-stop since I won last year. So I had a great time last year at the festival, and honestly, just being there was enough. Winning was just a complete bonus. But no, it's been really busy. I have been in London. I've done a few local things too, like switching on the Christmas lights in Dungloe. And then I obviously went to New York for Paddy's weekend, and it was fantastic. And then I obviously had a baby then in January too. So
well, that was the kind of bit I was having a little nod towards, you know.
Yeah,
so it's a busy enough schedule.
It's
without,
a busy enough schedule.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
But really exciting, and I think it's made it. It's part of the year. It's made it extra special.
It definitely is. Like another reason why it's been the best year of my life, to be honest. So yeah, probably the first for a reigning Mary, but I had to be remembered.
Yeah, and it's that old story, isn't it? Though about how. Even just being part of the competition, but certainly winning it, it's life-changing. You take it with you for the rest of your life. And I know we hear it every year, but even the doubters end up being convinced otherwise.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I will always be the 2024 Mary from Dungloe. And I think even for all the girls that are involved, like, they'll always be, like, I was the Donegal Mary last year. Like, you're always going to have that title. Once a Mary, always a Mary, as they say. But no, it's just amazing. Okay,
now we have the 2024 Little Miss Mary, sponsored by Ross's Credit Union. Nasa Sweeney. How do I pronounce that? Is that correct? Nisha. Sorry, I had two options. Come here, and I got it wrong. Come here. How are you, Nisha? What has this week been like for you so far?
Oh, it's been great. I really enjoyed meeting all the Marys. They're all so nice and funny.
And you're 12 years of age. Where are you from?
I'm from just outside Letcher, just about 8 minutes outside Dungloe.
Okay, and you're in 6th class, or going into 6th class?
No, I'm going into first year.
I'm going into big school. All right, okay, that's another big year. And what has been the highlight so far for you of your role as Little Miss Mary?
The highlight of my year was either doing the parade on Easter Sunday or turning on the Christmas lights in Dungloe.
And you have to hand the crown over now. When is that? It's a different day for Little Miss Mary, isn't it? Is it Saturday?
Yeah, no, they're changing it to Wednesday, and they're changing it this year as well to 1 Little Miss Mary, 1 escort, and 15 mini Marys for all the Mary contestants.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Alana McGlynn's the Mary's coordinator and a former Mary as well. Alana, thanks so much for calling up. It's a busy week, just even in terms of your role within the wider, huge event that is the Mary from Dungloe International Festival.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, Greg. We're delighted to be here today. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy lead up. We actually started the Mary Tour a wee bit earlier this year just to try and get some of our sponsors early on and to try and highlight some amazing places in Donegal, because there's people who come to the festival every year and they spend the full week in Dungloe, even all their free time. So it's great then to highlight places like Glenveigh, Fermanagh Lighthouse and Glen Folk Village, so that they actually have other places in Donegal that aren't too far away to go and visit. So that kind of happened all before the festival, and then we came straight into the week, and it's a whirlwind, and you're, minute by minute is accounted for now for 10 days. So
and it really is
brilliant.
quite like that. Everything is, we've got you to 12, and then I'm sure you know exactly where you're going to be in 15, 20 minutes, half an hour after that. Yeah.
We know exactly where we're going to be, and we know how long we can be there. So I'd say the girls all think I'm a pure targer. They're probably annoyed at me sometimes. I'm going chop girls back on the bus, and you just have to be here and on time. And yeah, it is. It's a big responsibility for the committee as well. It's they put in a lot of work, and that's all down to community members and volunteers.
Claire, do you do the full tour or do you dip in and out?
No, I'm doing the full tour.
Really?
Yeah. So I was given the option as well, because obviously I've had Killeen and stuff, but they've been so supportive. Because normally the Mary does do the full tour, but I want to commit and do it like every other Mary has. But they've been amazing. So they have really amazing.
Right. Okay. So should we talk about the competition a little later? What do we call it? Because I'm trying to avoid the word competition, so no, that's not necessarily the spirit of it.
No.
But I don't know the alternative.
I suppose
word.
it is. It is a competition.
All right, we'll just go competition. All right, that's fine. I was being sort of trying to.
We would say a competition, but
it.
we would say entrance. We wouldn't really say competitors for the girls, because I think that when there is so many of them competing
entrance
like this,
is the word, actually.
entrance.
It does.
Yeah, and we have a few new additions to the Marys this year as well, because we just felt like we weren't getting as much of an outreach, and we wanted to include other parts of the country as well. So with all those girls, I mean, I have said it to them this week. You've got a 1 in 16 chance this year of winning it, and if you go in with the head on you that you're going to win and that you're going to be completely successful, you're actually going to miss the fun and the enjoyment and the chances and opportunities that you get to really bond with the rest of the girls, to enjoy your week and to spend your time getting to know the community. If you have that competitive streak in your head,
Nisha, what part of this week do you look forward to most now? Because you're going to be handing the crown over, so you're just like going to be almost like you can enjoy it, right, as just a regular person, although you'll always be Little Miss Mary, don't get me wrong. But is there something in particular over the next wee while that you're looking forward to going to or seeing?
Well, just like to the disco, to where the new Little Miss Mary is going to be picked. Like, it's going to be really exciting, and then I'm just going to be really happy for the new person.
Brilliant stuff. Okay,
that's actually happening at 5 p.m. tomorrow in the Hall of Moore in Dungloe.
Brilliant
for
stuff.
Anyone who wants to enter.
Fantastic. Well, you'll be back in with us, Alana. Mary, thank you. Claire, thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for having me.
You would agree that this it's very impactful on someone. Taking part's great, winning it.
Oh yeah,
super.
It's unbelievable. It's just a bonus, to be honest. Like, doing it was enough, but then winning was just like the cherry on top. Like, it's just been amazing.
All right, listen, thanks so much for calling in. As I say, I want a quick word with you, Alana, before we say goodbye. But we're going to meet 3 more. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much, Greg.
All right, you are tuned to the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio, and we are chatting to the entrants into the competition for this year, and they're taking their seats. We've actually organised this better than we have any other year. Kira Hassan, Ulster Mary, sponsored by Oysters Restaurant. Hi, Kira.
Hi, I'm
Where are you?
Here.
Yeah, there you are. How are you getting on?
Absolutely delighted to be here.
Yeah, where are you from?
So I'm from County Tyrone, Strabane, and I'm the first ever Ulster Mary, so it's an absolute honour, and it's great to just have the opportunity to sort of branch the festival out into the north as well, just to get it up there, up in Tyrone as well, and show them what we have in Donegal.
You have strong Donegal connections as well, though, too.
Yeah, I do. I have a mobile home in Donegal, and I also, my sponsors, Oysters, Caroline and Kevin. So Caroline's mother embroidered the first ever Mary from Dungloe sash.
This is going back to the Michaela Clark collection isn't it? Yeah, all right, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, that's her mum and dad. So
yeah.
We met up with the first ever Ulster Mary, the first ever Mary from Dungloe, on Saturday night at the official opening. So it was lovely to just have that wee connection back again.
How much have you enjoyed this part of it? Because, you would have heard the tales, right? And the bonding and making friends and all that kind of stuff. But then you experience it, obviously. It can be very different. Has it met your expectations?
100%. Like, we were told that it was going to be, like, such a great week. But now that you're actually experiencing it, you realise just how amazing the festival is and what it has to offer.
Olivia Boyce is all the way from Philadelphia, or at least the Philadelphia Mary, sponsored by the Donegal Association of Philadelphia. Thank you so much for calling up to us. How has the last few days been for you?
Oh, they've just been wonderful. Truthfully, I didn't know what to expect coming into this week, but it's just been such a lovely time. I've had such a pleasure meeting all of the girls and visiting all the local businesses in the area. So, yeah, it's been such a great time.
Now, you're born and raised in Philadelphia and, you've spent your life amongst the Irish community over there. Is that as much as you've been exposed to the country, or have you been able to come over and visit over the course of the last 22 years?
No, I've had the pleasure of visiting Ireland twice in my life. The last time, though, I was 9 years old, so it's been quite a while.
Right, okay, yeah.
But yes, my brother played Gaelic football, so we came over for the Féile a couple of times when I was a little girl.
And what do you do for your career?
I work on the nursing team at a local hospital in Havertown, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia.
Brilliant stuff. And you're active as well, half marathon runner?
Yes, I just completed my first half marathon
this morning?
This April.
Okay.
Not this morning. I don't know if I would have it in me.
I'm only joking, yeah.
But yes, I was also a high jumper at Bucknell University in Pennsylvania for 4 years in college. So.
Brilliant stuff. And what does it mean to you to be part of this festival?
Oh, it's so special to me. My Aunt Karen, she was in the Rose of Tralee 20 years ago, so I heard many lovely stories from her time there, and it's just so surreal to be back here and be participating in such a lovely event.
Yeah, and it just shows how small the world is, really, because everyone kind of has a backstory or a connection or something that leads it back. Not everyone might, but it seems most people do. Tara Brady is the Midlands Mary, sponsored by the Cavan Crystal Hotel. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for calling in to us, Tara. What's the story with you?
Morning, Greg. Thank you so much for having me. So I am the first Midlands Mary ever. There has been 2 previous Cavan Marys, but as I said, I'm the first Midlands Mary ever. I come from County Cavan, and it's just an absolute privilege to be here representing not only Cavan itself, but the Midlands of Ireland too.
And were you very familiar with the Mary from Dungloe Festival? And there's no wrong answers there, actually, because this is about also spreading the reach of the festival as well. So no is okay as well.
Yeah, so my family friends, Keith O'Hagan was the Down Mary in 2018, and I come up for the festival in 2018, and just seeing how close the relationship she built, and how amazing the festival was. And I always knew that I wanted to go in to do something like this. My auntie was actually Roisin O'Neill. She passed away. She was actually the Anna Lee Rose, and I knew, as I said, I wanted to go in and do something like this, but I wasn't sure whether it was the Rose or the the Mary. And when I come up and seen Kiva in the Mary from Dungloe Festival in 2018, I just seen it was amazing, and I was like, one day hopefully I will be a Mary.
And you're also pretty active as well. We've got some great 400 metre hurdlers in this very county. Is that your speciality distance?
Yes. Yeah, it is. So I used to do 250 metres flat or 250 metre hurdles, but as your age group goes up, your distance changes. So 400 metre hurdles
Brilliant stuff.
Is what I do, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All three of you. Tara, thank you so much for calling in to us. Olivia, it's great to have you over from Philadelphia. And Kira Hassan, Ulster Mary. And it's, as you say, I think it's great that the reach is spreading in different directions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lovely having you all in. Thanks so much. And we'll be speaking to more entrants after we take a short break.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio.
It's the 9 till Noon Show with Barry Brown Cars. Driving value with Suzuki's incredible 10-year warranty and 0% finance. Visit Barry Brown Cars in Milford or Donegal Town today. Your journey to 10 years of worry-free motoring starts here.
Flame grilled steaks, fresh salads and indulgent desserts. It's all on the menu at the Woodbury Grill Bar and Restaurant at Arena 7. Great food, fast service and a warm welcome this summer at the Woodbury Grill Bar and Restaurant, Arena 7, Letterkenny.
The body is that of a 35-year-old. Significant lesions to the face, particularly the right temple, correlating to the intracranial hemorrhaging observed. Seatbelt abrasions clear across chest and abdomen. Broken femur and tibia, right leg. Cause of death, drink driving. Drink and drive, and you could put someone on a mortuary slab. A message from the Road Safety Authority. Visit rsa.ie.
Monster Bingo every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel. €3,300 must go with €1,000 on the last page. Doors open 7:30. Bingo starts at 8:30. That's Monster Bingo this and every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel, Milford.
The Highland Radio Outside broadcast team is hitting the road again. Join us live this Wednesday from 2:30 for Jive Time with David James, and again on Friday morning for Greg Hughes and the 9 till noon show. Both shows broadcasting live from the heart of the Mary from Dungloe International Arts Festival. We'll be soaking up the atmosphere and celebrating a jam-packed programme of music, culture and community fun. Check out the full festival lineup at maryfromdunloe.ie. Proudly brought to you in association with Cavanagh SuperValue Dungloe.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is?
It is 17 minutes past 11. We'll say good morning first to Lucy Bask in the Wild Atlantic Way Mary, sponsored by the Tara Hotel in Killybegs. Lucy, thanks so much for calling in. Great to see you. How are you keeping?
Hello, Greg. Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. I'm in great form today now, yeah.
From Duncanely.
Great
to see a bit of love in Duncanely. I think often it's overlooked.
Yeah, it's
right?
a great
Isn't
spot. So it is.
Yeah.
It gets mistaken for Killybegs and Donegal Town too quickly. So yeah, I like to remember Duncanely.
And you like to make the most of the beautiful surroundings of Duncanely, don't you?
Yes.
Between getting out with the dogs into the sea.
Yeah, I'm very lucky too. I travel to Bundoran for work every day, so I travel along the Wide Atlantic Way every morning and every evening coming home from school. So yeah, and then the dogs as well. I'm very lucky to live beside the beach, so it's great. Yeah.
And other things to do with the water too, rowing. So you've always used your access there.
Yeah,
to your advantage.
I started rowing when I was 16, and I rowed for my local club in Brooklis, and then with the rowing getting quieter throughout the years, I got asked to row for Killybegs. So Killybegs is my current rowing club at the moment, and yeah, I've loved the rowing, and I took part in a lot of regattas, and we did the All Ireland Championships back in 2018 where I have a bronze All Ireland medal, so proud of that.
What is High Rocks? Is that to do with rowing?
So High Rocks is a different competition. So High Rocks has gotten very popular recently over the past maybe 3 years. So High Rocks is 8 kilometres running, broken up into eight, so it's like 1 kilometre 8 times, and then there's 8 different stations as well. So it's gotten world renowned now. So I'm actually travelling to Madrid in November to take part in my first ever singles competition.
Oh wow, because you've done it in doubles, haven't you? Mixed doubles.
Yeah, I've done mixed doubles with my partner Shane Myrne, my training partner, and then I'm currently training in BMS in Killybegs in Bundoran. So they're keeping me right. Lorraine's my PT, and she's a great woman, so she is.
Good. Sounds like you have it sorted. Work nice and close. Get
going
to
great.
drive the Wild Atlantic Way and enjoying extra curricular activities too. Sarah Hughes, UAE Mary, sponsored by McCafferty's UAE. Good morning to you.
Thank you for having me, Greg.
It's our pleasure. How are you keeping?
I'm doing good. It's been a blast.
Huh?
It's been a blast.
Has
so
it been
far,
a blast?
yes.
All right, okay. Because you're originally from County Tyrone, so there's another County Tyrone connection. You've been out in Dubai now for a couple of years. What's life like out there for you?
Oh, I love it. It's myself and my partner play in a 2-piece band called Fresh as Folk.
Oh, cool.
In
You have
the
to be
bar.
careful with that one after a few drinks.
I know. Yeah, in the bar that I'm sponsored by,
Yeah.
in McCafferty's, we play 5 or 6 nights a week, and it's great. There's
That's
such
your
a-
actual career, is live music playing over there?
Yes. Well, I actually was a solicitor. Well, I am a qualified
Yeah, of
solicitor.
course.
But then just a couple of years ago, moved out to Dubai and had a wee life change, and now play music full time. So
Wow, it's not
lovely.
often in this day and age that you can make a
Yeah.
career or you're living solely from
Yeah.
playing music, and is become a solicitor. Obviously, that's there; it's in the bag, right?
Yes.
You can't take that away from you. Is that something you hope to return into in the future, or you?
Possibly, yes. Never close that door. I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to play music, which is my passion as my job at the moment.
Yeah, okay. And was it a tough call for you to accept the offer of being the UAE Mary or the invite to take part, or however you were selected?
No, I was so excited. The UAE Mary last year, she just was glowing with and just was delighted with how it went for her last year, and it really did make me think, well, I could give it a go. So no, I'm so excited. It's great.
So you're going to bring a touch of Irish UAE spirit. What is that? What is how do those two mix to
I know, what a combination. Well, I think really in Dubai, where I live, there is so much Irish community. We have a cultus in Dubai. So the music, the actual Irish traditional music, is really prominent.
There's a lot of people playing football over there.
There's a lot of GA teams.
How many GA teams there are across the...
There's so many, yeah.
And funny to get a real sense of the Irish spirit, and I've said this before, unfortunately, seemingly you do have to move somewhere else to get it, because it's alive and well in some of these far-flung places and not necessarily quite as visible closer to home. Tara Malloy's the New York Mary, sponsored by J.R. Mason... J.R. Mason Company, is it in Yonkers? Is that, have I got that correct? Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm also sponsored by the Mulroy Corporation.
Good.
There's a few different people there who've had a hand in making me get here to Dungloe, so I appreciate all of them.
We want to give the sponsors a big shout out.
Definitely.
In fact, I got one of these drinking cups as well.
We all have our own bottle
there.
there.
I got
How
mine.
beautiful are these?
I know you have, but look,
class.
I've got mine
you
with
got
my
one
own
with your own
name
name
on
on
it.
it.
Great, isn't it?
And a dent.
They're treating you well anyway,
no.
Greg.
So I am now part of the, it's
You're
part of the whole.
You're one of us.
You'll be a Mary then as well.
Why not? It's 2025. Right, okay. Talk to me about some of the stuff you're interested in. Or actually, before we do that, your connections to Ireland.
I'm actually very fortunate. I have a big connection to Donegal.
Okay.
My uncle was the first man to bring back Sam to Donegal in 1992, Anthony Malloy.
Oh, that's your uncle, is it?
It is
All
my
right,
uncle. I'm
very
very,
good.
very fortunate. So it is a sad weekend for them, but we're very proud of all the boys and Jim out there. And like I said to you earlier, we were in the town this weekend and the energy was ecstatic. So even though the loss, they're still going to have a good time.
The more time that passes, the more context comes into a situation.
That's
and
so
it
right.
is a game of footy, right?
Correct.
Now it might not feel like that, but that's what it is. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so there was still a good buzz last night in Donegal town.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
We were so fortunate to be out there.
Right, and the festival is close to your heart as well.
It is. My cousin actually was a contestant in 2013, Fiona Malloy. So I was so excited when her mommy called me up and asked me if I wanted to go this year. In the beginning, I was a bit nervous, but I'm so happy to be here, and I'm glad I took the opportunity because it would be a missed one if I didn't go.
Yeah, but it's a big chunk out of your New York life, isn't it? Because
It is.
they've widened out the amount of time that you're here. You have to make your own sacrifices as well, but it's paying off for you anyway.
It
You're
is
happy
so
out.
much so. I'm so happy and so grateful to be here. All the
Okay.
girls are lovely, actually, and we've had a
See,
few
I
sessions.
I can't wait for the tell-all book. Someone's going to write a tell-all book, and this can't be true that you're all lovely.
No, it is true, actually.
How did we?
We've
You
had
know,
a
we're
few
actually
sessions.
getting on so well, aren't we?
We've had a few sessions in the house there at night. It's a good crack is actually in the evening when we're all going to bed together and settling down. That's when
So
we're
nice.
like having
Yeah.
the best time, actually.
Exactly, when you got your comfies on.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
The
Like-
pajamas come out, and that's the comfy socks are on.
Exactly, all right. How are you doing anything to entertain the crowds on Sunday, Tara?
I will be. With my uncle being Anthony Malloy, he also comes from a very musical family. There's
course.
12 of them. So I'll be playing the harp on stage for everybody, a little bit of taste of something.
What about you, Sarah?
I'll play the fiddle.
The fiddle too. I think your compatriot last year danced, did she not? The Dubai Mary, I believe.
No,
anyway, that's
she
probably the year before.
Yeah.
It was the year before. And what about you?
So I actually didn't have a talent.
You're going to run a kilometre? You're going to stop
no,
at a
that would
station
be
and
a
run a
sad
kilometre?
sight. So
What do you mean you didn't have a talent? You just don't think that you're not obliged to,
So a few months ago, 3 months ago, I reached out to my friend that owns a school of music in Dungloe, Kevin O'Donnell, and I asked him, I was like, will you please help me out with something for the
So you've
movement?
learned something for it.
So I learned the tin whistle.
Okay, don't spoil it actually then, because it might be.
So-
All right, I've seen that before and with mixed results.
Well, no, I don't have high expectations
I'm
for
only
me.
joking. It's
She's going to do so great, so she is,
I
yeah.
know, yeah. And if you can come out from the wings with your
We're going to be
instruments
supporting
then
each
if
other,
need
that's
be.
right. That's what our sessions are for in the house to prepare us.
ensemble.
Okay, listen, Lucy, been lovely meeting
Thank you, Greg, for
Lucy
having me.
Baskin, the Wild Atlantic Way Mary, Tara Malloy, the New York Mary. great to see you over. And Sarah Hughes, the UAE Mary as well. Thanks.
Thank you as well.
All three of you will be meeting more of your friends after the
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
You're tuned to the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars, where your new 252 Suzuki comes with 0% finance and a 10-year warranty. Visit Barry Brown Cars in Milford or Donegal Town for 10 years of peace of mind motoring.
If you're aged 59 to 70, we will invite you for a free HSE bowel screening home test. Screening can help find signs of bowel cancer early, before any symptoms show, making it easier to treat.
Unmissable deals at Evolve Clothing. Tommy Hilfiger jeans only €50. Chinos and jeans from just €10. Summer sale is on now at Letterkenny Retail Park or shop online at evolveclothing.com. Stocks won't last.
Transform your living room with a luxurious bespoke feature wall from Sprat Fireplaces, Newmills, Letterkenny. Our complete installations include built-in storage, electric fires, floating shelves and stunning finishes in stone, porcelain or marble. Each feature wall is designed and built in-house by our expert carpentry and stone masonry teams. No fuss, just flawless feature walls. Call 074 91 24144 or visit spratfireplaces.ie. Sprat Fireplaces, experts in heating, design and detail.
Don't delay when you get your bowel screening invitation. Call us today on 1-800 45 45 55 or visit bowelscreen.ie. From the HSE.
Okay, we are continuing our conversations with the entrance into this year's Mary from Dungloe. Alana O'Leary is the Donegal Mary, sponsored by the Cope. Good morning.
Good morning, Greg.
How are you keeping?
Good, thanks.
Good
Thanks
stuff.
for having me in.
How's the whole thing been so far for you?
Oh, it's been amazing so far. I'm having such a great week. I'm just enjoying every minute and honoured to be representing my home.
No one's croaking yet. What's going on? Are you not? All right, you're all on strepsils or something maybe, or maybe you're just enjoying it.
Yeah.
So you're a nursing student at Ulster University Magee campus in Derry. So how long have you got to go now before you're qualified?
Yes, so I'm studying in Ulster University and I'm going into my final year now. So that'll be next month. So enjoying every minute, but kept busy.
I hope you couldn't be like the Australian Mary in 2 or 3 years, could you? Know? Are you going to stay home or what?
I'm not sure what to do yet. Yeah, I would love to travel.
You've got connections to Australia anyway, don't you?
I do. I lived there a couple of years back, and my brother actually is living over in Sydney at the moment. So I was out last year and I was visiting him. So it's lovely.
Great stuff. And you love driving, you love country music. Is that your passion stroke hobby outside of it? Do you tour around to the various shows or just local places or what?
So I love the dancing. I would go most weekends to different venues all over Ireland, and I just love my dancing and jiving.
Who is your favourite?
I wouldn't have a favourite. I love them all. I couldn't give a favourite.
All right, you can send us a letter and tell us a little bit later on. Okay, brilliant stuff. But you're actually you compete at jiving as well. This is not just something you do for a hobby. Like that is next level stuff.
Yeah, so I dance in different competitions, and my dancing partner would be from Dungloe.
Yeah, so I know why you can't really say who's your favourite, because you're going to bump into these people left, right and centre, aren't you? But you won All-Ireland Jiving Champion titles in 2019, then back in 2024, and then obviously winning local competitions, so you're pretty handy. Have you done that with the same partner?
Yes, so my dancing partner is Dominic Sharkey, and he is from Dungloe.
Okay.
So myself and Dominic, we danced in them competitions.
Fantastic.
So we have great memories.
What a great achievement it is.
Thank you.
Ellen Luff is Birmingham Mary, sponsored by Norton's Digbeth. Good morning to you, Ellen. How are you keeping?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, and thank you for having us today.
It's our pleasure. It's brilliant. It also helps for people to get to know you a bit, because they'll be watching on Sunday night, and there's a great level of interest, not just locally, but all over the place as well.
Absolutely. No, it's been so great to be in Dungloe, and everyone, because this is my first time here for the festival, so to meet people in the community, everyone's been so kind and welcoming and generous as well, and we've been definitely treated and spoiled, so it's lovely to be here, yeah.
And are you... I mean, obviously, Birmingham's got a massive Irish population. Is that from where you're born?
So I'm actually from just outside, so Coventry Way, which also has a massive Irish community.
Of course, yeah.
So we're very lucky. But Norton's, who are sponsoring me, that's Digbeth, so that's probably the centre. Yeah, absolutely. The Tommy Shelby accent comes out. That is like the centre where you'd have like the St. Patrick's Parade. We have the Irish Centre.
And you've been active in Irish pursuits, Irish dancing since the age of 4.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah. With Celtica Academy, which is my school over there. And we've just finished a show about 3 weeks ago, a massive charity show. My dance teacher's amazing, Maggie Gallagher. She does so much line dancing, raising money for charity. I think she just hit her goal of 10 grand, which is amazing.
That's fantastic. It really is. And you teach dancing now as well, do you? Or you're head of a school, or what's the story?
So I just teach. I'm an English teacher,
Okay.
so I work in a school. I did a little bit at university. I was the president of the Dance Society. I didn't
right.
want to leave the Irish back at home, so brought it with me there and then took on a bit at uni as
And
well.
life's
so that
busy.
was
You can
nice.
only take so much on, isn't that it? Too?
Absolutely.
And your connections are all over the place, but northwest, of course, Derry. You've got family connections to our neighbours, Derry.
Absolutely, yeah. My granddad and all his family are from Kilray. But absolutely, we're spotted all over the place. So a few in Westmeath. I do have a few family that live in Ballybuffet. We're not necessarily from there, but that do live in Donegal.
Still
so it's
counts.
nice to be
Still
here.
counts.
Yeah.
Tick it up. All right, brilliant
Yeah.
stuff. And have you a big crowd over with you? Or it's different. Some girls travel with lots and lots of people, and others sort of do it solo almost, which I think is great. It's
Yeah.
whatever suits
Well,
individuals.
My dad works in Belfast, so it was really lucky. He had a work due, so he was over last weekend. They've gone back over to work, and then they'll be back at the end of the week.
Lovely
which is
stuff.
great.
All right, Cara Ryan is the Connacht Mary from Gracie's Bar in Sligo. Good morning, Cara. Thanks so
Morning,
much for
Greg.
calling in. How are you keeping?
I'm great, thank you. Yeah,
You're
enjoying
from County Mayo.
it. I am. I'm
So
from.
I take it you're on with Mr. Claffey and his crew. Have they been up yet?
Yes, we were in the marquee with them yesterday.
How was
so
that? What was the crack like?
It was brilliant. Yeah, there was a lively atmosphere in there. All right.
Did you get
so-
special treatment?
I get special treatment everywhere since I've been in Donegal. We all have been treated like absolute royalty. It's been amazing.
All right, you're from beautiful Kilmena, Westport in County Mayo, and you're a first as well, the first ever Connacht Mary. So, obviously, there can only ever be the first once, right?
Yeah, it's a historic first, and look, it's great because it's a new chapter for Connacht and as well for the festival. So it's going to, of course, increase their reach as well, and it's nice for the West to be represented.
Yeah, and yours is an interesting career path, isn't it? You were in the beauty industry. You were in that, doing really quite well for quite some time, and pivoted.
Yeah.
Then you say, right, actually, my heart wants to be somewhere else.
Yeah, so many moons ago now, it's not today or yesterday, I sat my
But it can't be
leaving
that
cert.
long ago because you're 31. So let's not be dramatic.
I sat my leaving cert, and look, it didn't go according to plan.
Yeah.
I always wanted to work with children, loved beauty therapy, and while I was waiting for results, I found a little booklet that I had done when I was in second class, I think, just for my communion. It said, "My name is Cara. I'm 8 years old. When I grow up, I want to be a beautician." Now, I knew the leaving cert was going to go a little bit astray, so I went and I did beauty therapy first, and I worked in that for 7 years. And then while working part-time, I studied early childhood care and education and took special needs assistant. So I have level 5, 6, and last year I completed level 7 with St. Angela's in Sligo.
Brilliant. I don't know how you managed to do all that stuff and then sort of become accomplished at the button accordion. I mean, if I did that in and of itself, I'd go, right, I've done something. That's me out. But I don't know how you juggle all of this talent.
That's a learning curve now, to be honest. My dad is an incredible musician, and we're very lucky that he is in the house all the time.
Right.
So he shares his gift of music with students from across Mayo of all ages. And yeah, I'm very lucky to be one of them. So dad is teaching me on what would have been my grandfather's accordion.
Brilliant. That's lovely. And you're also a big fundraiser. Western Alzheimer's, is there a reason that's so close to you? But
It
not
is.
delving if it's not something you want to talk about?
No, it is. My nana in Banbridge in County Down on my mum's side would have had Alzheimer's for many years. So in 2017, we made the very difficult decision that the nursing home was the best place for her. And I think my way of coping with that as the favourite grandchild was fundraising. So I was just preparing for, I suppose, loss for the last few years. And with Alzheimer's, you really do grieve twice, So I've organised fundraisers that have raised over 33,000 in the last few years.
Well done. That's fantastic. Okay. Ellen, love, thanks so much for calling in. It's been lovely having you in. Cara Ryan, thank you so much as well. And also Alana O'Leary. Do you speak? What's the story, Alana, for Sunday? Is it excitement, or do you not even think about that yet? Are you looking forward to maybe the ball and other stuff? Like, I would hate to be dragged up on that stage and do what yous are doing. That's just you know, everyone, you know what I mean? So are you nervous, excited?
No, I think I'm excited. I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, so there will be definitely great memories, but it's going to be good fun.
Same for you, Ellen?
Yeah, I think so. It's nice to know that whatever we're nervous about, we're all going through it together.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can share in it together.
Brilliant stuff. All right, listen, it's been lovely meeting all three of you. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, you can stick with us now between now and 12. We've got loads more Marys to introduce to you. Caroline, do you want to... Where is Caroline? Is Caroline there? No, she's not. All right, I'll take a quick break and we'll bring our next entrance in.
Sick of surprise car bills? You're tuned to the 9 till noon show with Barry Brown Cars, Milford and Donegal Town, your main Suzuki dealer in Donegal. Grab your 252 Suzuki now with 0% finance and a rock-solid 10-year warranty.
Don't miss the 56th Clonmany Festival's open-air concerts. Olivia Douglas on Tuesday 5th at 7, followed by Mike Denver and his band at 9. On Wednesday 6th, there's the High Flying Paddies and the Tumbling Paddies. Sunday 3rd until Sunday 10th of August. Full programme at clonmanyfestival.com. Sponsored by Joyce's Centre, Clonmany.
Hey Susie, I'm an undergrad. Do I qualify for a student grant?
Is your household income below €115,000?
Yeah.
One sec. You could be eligible for support worth between €500 and over €10,500.
You're joking me.
Searching for jokes.
If your household income is below €115,000, you may be eligible for support. To find out if you are, sussoutsusie.ie. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Ensure the safety of your team with SafeTech. We have part-funded courses in first aid, people moving and handling, confined spaces, food hygiene, quad bikes, fire warden, iPath MUPS, electrofusion, welding and machinery cards for Ireland and UK sites. Also delivering online courses like utilities, water hygiene and construction supervisors. SafeTech can deliver group training at your business premises. To find out more, contact safetech.ie today.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Find amazing savings across our departments with up to 50% off your favourite brands in our summer sale. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Okay, a rather cloudy and misty start this morning, though that's given way to occasional drizzle patches here and there. There'll be occasional dry spells later in the afternoon, temperatures of 17 to 20 degrees. We can say good morning now to... Anna Sutcliffe, who is the Dublin Mary, sponsored by the Skyline Hotel. Strong Donegal connections there as well. Hi, Anna.
Good morning. How are you
How are you
today?
getting on?
Fantastic, thank you. I have a lack of voice. It's not from the music sessions in the house. I used to be a tour guide and all this talking has strained it a little bit, but I was delighted to be offered a job in Crawley Distillery yesterday as a German tour guide, like I used to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you actually worked yesterday?
Yeah, well, perhaps tomorrow when we visit the distillery, I'll be given a German tour.
Okay, right.
Like I used to do in
understand
Gemston.
now. Yeah.
That's the lack of voice there.
Yeah, your connections are widespread. Annagry, is that correct?
That is
Where your
correct.
strongest Donegal connection is.
It is correct. So we're not actually blood related, but my dad went to Closter on the first when he was 12 and stayed with Biddy Owen. I'm now called Biddy Bjug and never stopped going. So they're like family to me, and it's actually so funny. So my cousin is married to Maria, the Edinburgh Mary's aunt. So it's nice that way.
Brilliant.
And then that's why I have Irish as well. And he was adamant that my siblings and I would have Irish.
So you're fluent Irish and you're fluent in German.
Yes, German with a dub accent. I sound very Dublin when I start the German.
Right, okay. and why did you choose German as a language?
I find cultures and languages very interesting. So I really enjoyed learning it in school and continued on in college then and lived in Austria for a year as well.
All right, and you're a very outdoorsy person as
I
well
am,
too, right?
yes.
So talk to us about some of the stuff you enjoy doing.
So I really enjoy hiking. So I've completed mountaineering level 1 and the plan is to eventually volunteer with Mountain Rescue. I live on Achill Island, so I love swimming and things like that. So
Brilliant. So give something back as well too, I
Exactly. I think
suppose,
it's so
to use your
important.
experience.
Yes,
Yeah, I suppose people, not everyone would realise that to be active in that area, you do have to do the training, of course, to
Yes.
keep yourself and others safe as well. And obviously very familiar with the festival then beforehand, or is it sort of learning as you go to some
Do
extent?
you know what?
or-
I knew all about it growing up. Cousins of mine have entered, have been successfully, part of the festival. A Little Miss Mary as well. But I think being in it is actually understanding how amazing it is. And we're talking about volunteers. Like the whole committee are volunteers as well. And without them, I think this week wouldn't have happened. So I'm very thankful to them as well.
Ellie Ward's the Dungloe Mary, sponsored by Sweeney's Home Value. Ellie, thanks so much for calling in. How are you keeping?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's always interesting as the sort of home Mary in inverted commas. I don't know if there's less pressure on you or more pressure on you, or...
I think the pressure's been varied. Like, I went into my workplace, the Bridge Inn, on our first day, and I felt like I should have had my blue top on and pulling a few pints. So that was a bit of pressure to try and stay poised in there. But no, the pressure has... The girls have really been good in taking the pressure off me. They all have done their research on Dungloe and they're all great. So yeah, I'm loving it.
I love how Dungloe you are. It talks about you moving address from up in the diamond to the... down to the other end of Dungloe.
Yeah.
I mean, more
I'm
big,
well travelled.
Yeah. Did you just carry your bed and jacket and everything with you? No,
yeah,
it's
it was that close.
You're a competitive person by nature, obviously, because
I
you
am.
play sports, so you have to be to play it at the level you've been playing it at. So,
Yeah.
playing with Dungloe
Yes, I'm playing with Dungloe and Leah. Yes.
and the seniors as well, the Donegal team.
I
Have
was
you-
playing with the minors up until, so I've played from the age of 12 until the age of 18. So I finished my minor campaign in September of 2024, and that was the last time I played with Donegal. But hopefully in a few years I might be back.
Yeah,
on
again, like I
Donegal.
said to one of the earlier people, it's very hard to juggle everything, isn't it?
It
and
is.
you've tasted success too, winning Ulster and All Ireland titles and what have you as well.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's great.
What are you studying?
I'm studying physiotherapy in ATU Donegal, so it's a link course with Coventry. 2 years in Coventry and 2 years in Coventry and 2 years in Letterkenny. So I have another year to do in Letterkenny, and then I'm off jetting to Coventry.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one for you because you've been the Dungloe Mary since February, so
Yeah.
it must feel like this is a long time coming.
Do you know what? I said it the last day, although it has been since February, I feel like February is yesterday. Like, this time has gone so fast. We've been so busy, as the girl said earlier, with so much. Like, we've been travelling around Donegal. I went to Crown Anna, our Dublin Mary, and I was travelling around. I think I've been to every event apart from our Tubber event. So, yeah, I've been very busy, but it's great.
All right, Anna Gree in the area because Maria O'Donnell, Edinburgh Mary, that's your strong connection to the county as well, obviously.
Yeah, so originally I'm from Annagray, but I moved over to Scotland then to do my nursing. So I actually have a strong connection to Letterkenny too. This is where I found my passion for nursing.
All right,
I went
okay.
to Errigal College, and I worked in a nursing home here, a local nursing home in Letterkenny for 3 years before I moved to Scotland.
And what's life like in Scotland for you?
Yeah, I love Scotland. I definitely moved to Scotland and fell in love with it. I don't plan to come back just yet. But yeah, no, I love Scotland.
And is there similarities to Ireland? Is that it's different, but different enough that it feels like it changed, but maybe similar enough that, you're close to home and you don't necessarily feel terribly homesick all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I've got no family in Scotland, but I've made loads of friends through university, and obviously my sponsors, the Emerald Irish Social Group, they've been really supportive since I've been chosen as the Edinburgh Mary. But the connection is a deep connection between Scotland and Ireland anyway. That's probably the highlight that I've had so far, just like living firsthand the connection between both. It's been lovely.
And you're another outdoorsy person, aren't you? You like to go out and enjoy nature.
Yeah.
What do you have access to close to where you live?
Oh, there's loads of
Yeah.
lovely mountains, yeah. I love hiking, so I do. So there's loads of lovely ones around Loch Lomond. I've not gone up the highest ones just yet, but we're starting slow. But yeah, no, it's lovely. The outdoors in Scotland is amazing.
And you stay fit by boxing as well, so Daniel will need to watch
we
himself on
de-stressor,
Sunday.
Yeah.
really,
I won't be boxing Daniel now. But, boxing's a de-stressor definitely for
And
a
that's
nurse.
the sort of in terms of exercising, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the exercise
I did
discipline.
it in
of
university. I joined a club and it was very good to meet new people and make friends. But it's definitely a de-stressing exercise too.
And what are you hoping to get from this, or have you achieved what you wanted from this whole process,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a nurse anyway, I would feel that I would be quite a people's person, but it's been lovely to meet all the girls. Obviously, I've met Niamh originally in Scotland. She's the Glasgow Mary, so it was lovely to meet her. And then we came home together. We were sponsored a flight by Loganair to Donegal Airport from Glasgow, and then we met all the other girls then in Donegal Airport. It was
Brilliant
lovely.
stuff. And Anna, you're enjoying the tour of the various places. It's nice to be carted about the place, isn't it?
Oh,
And to
it
be,
is. And
be
I
treated like royalty.
We are indeed.
Yeah.
I work with Corna Nilon, so I'm a development officer for the Donegal and Mayo Island. So of course I was very happy to be out on Armagh again. even though I had to hide because people I know were coming up thinking I was out there to work. But no, it was fantastic, and we were giving tours around. We were at Slieve League and everything like that. It's been amazing. Honestly,
right.
Great way to see the place.
All right, brilliant stuff. And Ellie, what's the highlight for you so far?
I think the highlight for me is finally being able to show the girls around Dungloe. Everyone that I've been making connections with the girls over WhatsApp and stuff, but everyone finally being in Dungloe and being able to show them around my hometown has been great. So yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, lovely to meet all three of you.
Thank you very much.
We are going to be joined now by our last three entrants. That was Ellie Ward, by the way, the Dungloe Mary, Anna Sutcliffe, who's representing Dublin, and Maria O'Donnell, who is the Edinburgh Mary. And the festival is ongoing, by the way. We'll bring Alana back in before the end of the show just to remind us of everything that is coming up over the next wee while. Niamh Wheels, the Gaeltacht Mary, good morning to you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. What's the crack?
Oh, no crack at all. You see it all.
All right, then. You are from Carrick.
I am, yeah. I'm from Carrick, not too far away. So,
very good. Okay,
yeah.
so you feel like you're a home Mary too at some point.
Oh, yeah. It's not so bad. Yeah, I'm not too far away from home, so it's great.
Yeah. You're another person very passionate about our language, aren't we? Aren't you? Sorry.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, no, I love the Irish language now. I really enjoyed it in secondary school, and I love like trying to spread it, especially amongst like young people. You know, the language might be dying a wee bit, but I just hope that it keeps going and people just keep speaking it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it's about speaking it, isn't it? We can't get too fussy about how it's written or where the dots are or the commas. I mean, we need people. It has to be alive, and that's through people speaking it, isn't it?
Yeah, people speaking it, singing it. You know, people. I think people just listening to it. They like to listen to it and hear it, and then that's when it spreads more. Yeah.
All right. What are you passionate about? What do you love doing?
Oh,
if people asked me that, I'd have no answer. I'd be like, well, you know.
I have to say I absolutely love Gaelic football. It is just my pride and joy in life, and I've done it since a young age, and just my family as well, very, very heavily involved in football. And yeah, I play for my local team, CLG Neve Clumba, and I just love every minute of it. So I do.
And what's your reflection on the disappointing weekend we had? I mean, as someone who is competitive, right, you probably understand that the players aren't going to come up to Donegal Town waving flags and they're going to feel this very personally, going to be gutted. How long will that take for them to sort of start looking towards the future again, I wonder?
Yeah, no, my heart went out to all the boys. Like, they'd done so well all year, and I really thought that they did deserve it. But no, watching the game was a bit emotional, so it was. But I had to hold myself together because we were at Country Sunday, and we had to keep the liveliness up. And my heart goes out to them, but they done really well, and they should be really proud of themselves.
But I would say the spirits lifted quickly after.
Yeah, it has. No,
you know what I mean? Really you just have to get on with it, don't you? And you can't dwell on these things for too long.
Yeah,
Niamh Brown is the Glasgow Mary. Hi, Niamh.
Hello, Greg. How
are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Excellent stuff. Sponsored by Grace's Bar in Glasgow. You are involved in human resource management.
Yes, that's right. So I work in HR for White and Mackay, and I think a lot of people traditionally view HR as something that's quite negative, but I'm very lucky I get to be involved with a lot of positive initiatives, and it's actually a very rewarding career.
And Mackay make whiskey?
White and Mackay make whiskey, yeah.
Mackay, sorry.
Yeah.
That's the company you work for?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant stuff. So are you over here on recce's with the rest of the whiskey making companies over here now as well?
Yes.
Seeing what you can...
Yeah, I was tasting some Crawley whiskey yesterday and tasting the Irish whiskey versus the Scotch.
And what's how aware have you been of the Mary from Dungloe International Festival up until now?
Yeah, so I'm very lucky. I've actually grown up with the festival. My late grandfather, Tony May, he lived in Mulladuff, just outside of Dungloe, so I've yet to miss a festival, and yeah, I love it.
And he'd be very well known from his time as a bus driver.
Yeah.
It's a very important part of community life, your local bus driver. So I'm sure people have very fond memories of your grandfather, Tony May, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What do you do for fun? You're another competitive soul, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm a runner. I compete for Falkirk Victoria Harriers. And when I was younger, I was 2 times Scottish champion.
Fantastic.
So once in the 1500 metres and once in cross country. And now I do distances anything from 800 to 20 miles. So yet to do a marathon, but never say never.
You're very close to it. As someone who's sort of an individual sports person, have you been chatting to sort of the team players, if you know what I mean? Is there much difference between sort of how you approach things to how they approach things?
There definitely is. I think, being a runner, it is that kind of individual mindset. But this is something that for me has grown my confidence so much, being in a group, and just even seeing the girls that play GAA, hearing about all of their stories doing a team sport has been really lovely to hear this week.
It is, because we often think we're complete, and then you start meeting loads of other in a very intimate sort of setting, and you start thinking, right, actually, well, maybe this isn't that and the other, you know yourself. Right, we have London Mary now, and it is Katie Tobin, or how do you pronounce your surname? Because there's people do it different ways.
Kate Tobin, yeah.
Kate Tobin. London Mary is sponsored by PodTrack. What's PodTrack?
PodTrack is construction of the railways.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, okay, very good. I thought they made podcasts because it sounds perfect for it, PodTracks and all that kind of stuff. What does it mean to you to be the London Mary this year, Kate? Because we also actually probably shouldn't forget that to be selected as a Mary for your area, or for, you know, it's actually really, really significant in and of itself. And this is just the cherry on the cake, so to speak. So what's it been like for you?
It's amazing. I think I have so many Irish connections, but I've actually never really been to Donegal. But my aunt's in Falcara, so she's over the moon with it. And obviously Dad's Tipperary, so he's also very, very happy. But to be fair, I never really heard of Mary of Dungloe before, and it was Tiny, Brendan, and Bridie Cunningham as well. So they are very big advocates for Donegal. So yeah,
you see, in a way, I think you're an advantage though, because you're in a learning. Everything's new and experience, and
it's great,
you know what I mean. Whereby there's a bit of familiarity with some of the other girls, right? But for you, it's all like, okay, right, we're doing. So how has it met your expectations? I can't imagine what expectations you might have had.
I don't really know what I thought this would be, so I came into it very kind of open-minded. But everyone here is so lovely, so chatting to the locals at the food fair as well. Everyone's just so nice, and I think coming from London, you don't really get that in London, so it's amazing, and all the girls are really, really lovely as well. So it's been amazing. It's great.
Right, brilliant stuff. And you've got that connection with Falcara too, which is nice. It's nice to have something local, isn't it?
Yes.
So the London Irish community how active is it now? Is it as active as it once was?
I would say so, but
Good.
I feel like everyone in London is always kind of together in the pubs or kind of at networking events and stuff like that. And I'm very lucky. I've been to the Irish Embassy a few times, so it's great.
Yeah, and if anyone is stuck over there, the Irish community very quickly rallies around, doesn't it? Okay, very exciting. Sure. Do you know what you're going to be doing on Sunday night?
So I actually wasn't going to do a talent.
No spoilers, but just in case.
No. I wasn't going to do a talent, but at the fair, I found this boy, and he's amazing at dancing.
Right.
And I asked him to dance with me, and he said, "Sure, so why not?" So I might surprise you with that, but don't have any expectations there.
I was going to say you've definitely got him pinned down for this year.
I'm going to find him. Yeah.
Sounds like it could be.
Full surprises.
For sure. We'll see how it goes.
Listen, it's brilliant stuff. It's all very exciting. It's all and what was going to ask you, Niamh, you know, the impact you have on lots of the young girls as well, and boys as well, but you know, they're looking up to you. You know, there's a superstars to all of these people as well. That must be a lovely feeling.
It is a lovely feeling, and for me, I remember being a young girl at the festival, and you know, the Marys were princesses to us, so actually to be a Mary this year, it's just really important to make time for all of the young attendees of the festival. Yeah,
it's because it's really on that. And do you enjoy that, Niamh? The other Niamh. Niamh Brown.
No,
not Niamh Brown, sorry. Niamh Boyle.
I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed representing, just especially the area, and representing just for the young ones attending the festival. It really is great. It's a great feeling now when you're waving down at young ones on the stage and they're waving up at you. Yeah, it's nice.
Lovely.
So it is.
Okay, well listen, enjoy every moment. Thank you all three of you.
Thank you all.
It's been lovely having you in on the programme. One of you might make some space for Alana.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Alana, thank you so much, girls. Alana McGlynn is the Mary's coordinator in the Mary from Dungloe International Arts Festival, and as they always do every single year, Alana, a lovely bunch of ladies.
Oh, they're a brilliant bunch of girls. And do you know what? There's so much talent between all of them. Even on the bus yesterday, the guitar was whipped out, there was a flute whipped out, everything, and people were singing on the bus. So it's lovely when you get a lively bunch of girls to work with, and they just bring such a happy atmosphere and a positive atmosphere to everywhere they go. So we're delighted with this group of girls.
So Sunday night's the big night, I suppose, in terms of audience participation. Is it sold out, or might there be some?
No, there are some tickets left. Yeah,
so because it's a lovely night.
It's a beautiful night.
And it's a full production for TV as well too, so you get a real sense of what that is like, because it's streamed on the TG Car player as well. So we'll send links out to that just in case you can't find it, but it's very easy found. And of course, we have to mention the man himself, don't we, Daniel O'Donnell, because he makes that night, what it is, because he's really so genuinely invested in this whole festival.
Yeah, and he's actually playing in the Bridge Inn tonight as well with Fergal Flaherty. So he's brilliant. He's such a good ambassador for West Donegal. And I suppose I'm a bit biased. He's been a neighbour of mine my whole life. So he's a great ambassador. And even with the car now, with the festival car, kindly sponsored by Diverse Hyundai. I mean, I had the car all over the county and all over Ireland in the last few weeks. And the amount of people who even stopped me sitting in traffic, asked me to put the window down, and they were taking selfies with Daniel saying, is he in the car with you? So it's brilliant. It's really, really nice.
All right. There's so much going on. People need to get onto the website or get a hold of the booklet that's broadly out there. Things kicked off on the 26th of July, but there's an awful lot to come between now and the 4th of August, Alana.
There is so much to come. So there was over 110 events this year altogether. Some of our top things to keep an eye out for is Dominic Kerwin and Barry Kerwin, who are playing in the Waterfront Hotel tomorrow night. The tickets are going really quickly for that, and it's always a fantastic event every year. The Children's Talent Show tonight, that there should be brilliant. There's also loads of other different activities for children. So today there's Children's Art by Nikki. They actually had to put on 2 different workshops for that. There's circus and performance workshops. There are music workshops. And Children's Sports Day then is on tomorrow, the Super Value Fun Day, and that's always an excellent different, like it's always a day for children.
And
they
I think
enjoy.
the traditionally the girls particularly love that one.
The
as well.
girls do love that. It is a highlight of the week. We've also got, as we mentioned earlier, the Little Miss, which is happening tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. in the Hall of Moor, and there will be 16 Little Miss Marys picked, one for each of our girls, and then the proper Little Miss Mary who will come on the tour next year. So she'll be the overall one, and the Little Mr. Escort. We've also got then the ever popular and ever growing La Gala, which is taking place on Thursday. That's always a brilliant day, and there's so much life on the main street, lovely music, and the girls will actually be on the main street basically all day, dipping in and out to different sponsors and different establishments. So it's a lovely day, and we even met somebody this morning who said, we haven't seen much of the Marys around Dungloe because they were only really there on Saturday and Sunday. So it's nice then for the girls to go back into the community.
Of course it is. Well, listen, there's so much. I don't have any more time, unfortunately, Alana. They sent the right person anyway, because you were a great publisher or proponent of all that's going on. Check out the website maryfromdunloe.ie. I think at this point lots of people are wondering, what can we do with the kids, because we're about 3 or 4 weeks into the holidays. There's so much going on in Dungloe. You really need to get over or get out if you're in that area. That's where we have to leave it today from me and the team.